Alrighty. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful people of the earth, episode 34 of the 301 Outlet podcast. Right now, I only have two of the Musketeers with me. I have Darian and I have Mark, but Evan will be joining us shortly, and our guest will be joining us shortly. So pop in, get some popcorn, get your drinks, put your feet up. We're in for a good one. How y'all fellas doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just another day, another dollar. You know, just got looking forward to positive things, man.
All right, I just bought the new Madden, so I'm playing it now.
Oh,
Oh,
speaking of Matt Barrow,
how
I
is
seen
it?
like 100 copies of those.
It's like we talked about the last time. We
Last
all
time,
know
same
that
thing,
Madden.
same
We
old.
all we all know that Madden is going to be the same game that it is every year. But guess what? I want to play football game, and I want to play the latest updated version of of the football game.
I feel as
So
though unless you have like
I'm
an
going
Xbox
to give
One
EA
Series
my
S,
money.
I feel as though unless you have like an Xbox Series S or something like the new gen, that's when you really want to see the main difference. Because I seen like 100 copies of those, like or a bunch of those came in today. Yeah, man. It's like another football game, updated roster. I feel as
Right.
though what they should do, honestly, I feel as though what EA Sports and 2K Sports should figure out after a while, they should just like make a game when where everything is online and everything digital. They should make it where like the system just like updates. It's like a whole thing you pay for. It's almost kind of like a subscription where like the rosters just update new features and everything, and you just pay for that kind of like subscription for the game. That's just me though. They can make a
Mhm.
bag off that because you'll be like really they'll be making more because you'll be playing the game more with new stuff to looking forward to. Hey, they may be hearing me right now, and that could be an idea. But yeah,
I mean, it's kind of the
yeah.
same thing when it comes to 2K. It's like I want to play a basketball game, even though 2K
Yeah,
is
I'm
trash.
Yeah,
just
that's.
I'm
I mean, I
just
have 2K21 20. It's like same
I'm
2K21 is
just
just like 2K20. I mean, yeah.
I'm just like, what do people expect when they say, "Oh, that is the same
Remember the
game
time I
that
mentioned
was
Jeeps and shit?
that was the last time?" But I really honestly think the main people that actually like legitimately get mad about it and they say, "You know what? I'm tired of Madden. I'm never buying it again," are the ones who just suck at it.
Yeah,
Like if
the
you
ones that's not good at the game.
like if you just
Same with
like if
2K,
you like
honestly.
if you just suck at the game, of course you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, okay, F this game. It's all just the same anyway. It's trash. It's this. It's that. Only
See, at
because
least I
you're not.
played that because at least I actually play it. Buy it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Only because you're probably just not good and you
Yeah, because
just don't want to get used to the features that are on the game. Granted,
got my player mode.
I can't stand 2K timed layups. I can't stand
Yeah,
it.
that was stupid. That's the
Yeah,
main thing. I don't
that's
know why
stupid.
2K ever. They
I
should
don't
really
know
take
why
that
they
away.
ever.
That's like the worst
But
idea. For
but
Brandon Knight, shout out to you.
at the same time, it's just like it's there. Get used to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, gotta adapt. I mean, I'm
Right.
used to the time lapse now. It's like at this point, expect every shot you take in 2K, expect it to be timed. Have to have the right release. You know what I'm saying? So trying to make it so realistic to where you release the ball so like what a player in real life releases it. This all just trying to be extra realistic these days.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, time layups are actually the dumbest thing that happened in 2K. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, this is like two.
Like,
Like, come
like
on now, we
especially if
get
you're
it.
like like a certain overall. It's like, but how you an NBA player? You can't make a layup with nobody defending
How
you.
you even
Come
make it
on
to
now.
the college basketball? Like, how you make it to a D1 school? You can't make a layup.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
Talk about you want to do, but you can't make open layups. What the hell's going on?
Right, come on, bro.
What the hell, bro? But like I said, 2K is one of those games where it's like, yeah, I just want to play the most updated basketball game. It doesn't have to be really good, but I'm just such a big
Make it
fan
like a
of
subscription
basketball.
at this point.
Yeah,
I think EA Sports and
like
2K can make a
literally.
bag of that. Like, I think that's a good
Honestly,
idea.
if 2K really wanted to make money, they would really do what Fortnite and what Call of Duty has been doing, where
Seasons.
they do season passes.
Yep.
That would
See,
make sense. Like
yep.
this,
Like that's what
just
Call of
release a
Duty's getting
base
that
game,
bag.
right?
Yep.
Release a base game 2K, take the year off, and just literally just release season passes. They would make more money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You
They would
see,
make more
look,
money.
Call of Duty's been doing that, and they've been getting the bag from that. That's what they've been doing with Cold War. I
Even
was
though
like, it makes
Cold
sense
War
though.
is kind of
Yeah.
Cold War really had like one of the worst like sales that Call of Duty did get. Because remember, after like a
It's
month,
crazy
it was
though.
50%
Yeah.
off. It was like cheap as hell. It was
Yeah. It's
like
like
thirty
the hype
dollars.
for it. It's like everyone bought it, but then after that, it just wasn't selling. Yeah, because I even work in retail, so it's like, yeah, I noticed it wasn't selling like at all. Like I'll probably only sell like maybe a copy like every like other like few weeks. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it
So
did
shout
fall
out
off,
to
but it was a good game though.
Linman's
Yeah.
Moscato. Smooth. This is dirt cheap. This is like maybe like $7. $7 gets you straight, get you vibing.
This is not an ad.
I thought
Hey,
you was
listen,
listening
man,
to
They
you
do
that.
not
never know.
sponsor us. They do
I
not
thought you.
give us money.
Hey, you'd be surprised, man. Listen,
Hey,
limits can hit
when
us
shout out
up.
to the 19 Crimes, then Snoop Dogg's Cali Rose. We all know who Snoop Dogg is though. That's just what I was like, yeah, because like his Cali Rose for sure. It's definitely
No,
like
no, no. That
better
that
than the sweet,
19
but
grams, the joint that I bought, bro. That joint,
yeah,
the one I bought that
yeah,
day, and you got off me, bro. That joint was great.
I'm sipping some right
Brought
now.
to
Yeah, I brought
you
my own
by
bottle.
Microsoft.
I'm dead.
Yeah,
An ad with
shout out
the
to Snoop Dogg for
controller,
sure.
bro.
Hey, bro, and there's one funny thing about Snoop Dogg though. He it's like someone made a meme where it's like Snoop Dogg literally has 50 jobs. I'm like, bro, that is true. This man really does do everything.
Not for real, bro.
Kind of
Snoop
random,
Dogg,
but yeah,
he tapped into
he's like
everything,
everything,
bro.
bro.
He tapped into
I'm
everything.
like,
It's actually
yeah,
crazy. But
right.
let's
Just
start off
goals
with the
type shit.
NFL celebrations rule that they changed. So I read
Oh
into it.
Lord. Yeah.
So basically, if I'm not mistaken, you do a taunt, and after two basically like infractions, you get ejected from the game.
Ejected. Yeah, it's been like that for
That's
a
like you
couple
get
years
ejected.
now,
You also
but
get
I don't
fined
understand why the
and all
NFL brought
that.
it
That's
back,
that's
bro.
dumb.
Like, because
I
the
don't
thing is, the
see.
NFL took it away for a minute. They let the players celebrate, and now they just brought back the. Now they just brought it back, and we went
Hmm.
in that preseason game when we saw that Colts game. I'm like, yeah, if he literally that was like literally the referee being like personal and petty. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna happen this season. That's gonna mess up the whole season. Like, I'm gonna leave it
If
at that. I'm gonna let Darian go because I
if
could go on all day about this because this is
first
ridiculous at this
first
point.
first of all,
Hmm.
in regards to that play, if you saw the run that the dude made, he ran 10 yards with 10 defenders on his back.
On him. Who will not be
So,
hyped up off that?
so, so if that was me, I'm getting up. I I would do 10, he could do 10,100,000 backflips. And I would be like, he deserves to do that.
Right.
Who wouldn't do that? And they're talking about preserving feelings and this, that, and the fourth, and they don't want. And my thing is, you're playing football. Football is a
Okay.
game where you talk the most trash.
It's literally a
Football is a
physical
game.
sport.
Football is the most in-your-face game that there is. So
The game is pure testosterone,
You
bro.
literally
and
have to like
so
take somebody
Pure
down,
testosterone.
another grown man down.
so
Like, think about
so
it.
um you taking that out is basically just taking a part of the game out. Saying you can't taunt, you can't you can't celebrate all because there are certain things that people do that might make another person mad. It's just like how people get upset about bat flipping and shit talking and taunting in baseball. If you want to stop the person from talking shit, you know what you got to do? Beat them.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't get beat.
funny, Darian. You know what's funny? You just made a good point because it's not NFL related, but I feel as though the NFL saw that NBA Summer League game. I forgot the player's name though, but what it do? He got a hard foul, and it wasn't a hard necessarily foul, and he came up and we're like swung on. We actually saw like an ejection in the
Yeah,
NBA
you
And
talk
Summer
what's
League
about
wrong with
game because
you
like
talk
yeah,
about Shemet. You talk about Shemet
yeah, it's like
Metu.
it
I
was
know who you're talking about.
yeah, and
I
like it was
watched
just
that
hyped up
game.
after the hard foul, and like it's just like I guess they're trying to prevent that. People getting in their feelings. I can kind of relate it to that. I'm just like, but NFL you tackle anyway, but I
But
find
he
out
got
is like someone's gonna
see,
fight after like a taunt because it's been
see
going
the,
on.
re,
Like,
the
yeah,
reason
man.
why I don't like that analogy is one
Hmm.
because of what you just said. In football, you're getting hit. So
Yeah,
if you sit here you're crying about getting hit too hard, you really should not be playing football.
Yeah, like you gotta
yeah. You're right.
evaluate
You're
your
right.
sport choice.
This
And
the
another
second
thing, yeah, go ahead.
the
Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead. Go
this
ahead.
Hmm.
the second thing about that play, if I see it from both sides, like if I'm sitting here about to get posterized, I'm going to foul you. I'm sorry. That's just I'm going to foul you. However, if I'm the person that's about to posterize the dude and I'm in midair and he throws me to the ground, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a retaliate. But
Hmm.
in no way, I just don't like the analogy to the NFL rule,
Hmm.
but because again, in football, you're actually getting hit on that particular play. You're playing basketball, you're playing on a hardwood floor.
Right.
hitting that hardwood floor and you're in midair really is not fun. He could have got really hurt,
Right.
and he had the right to react the way that he did. I don't like people saying, "Oh, you just got to let it go," and yada 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 yada.
No.
No, he literally was in midair and he got
Yeah.
blown. He got flung to the ground. It
It's not
would
like it was
have
even a super
that
hard punch.
that
Like it could have been a worse
that
punch.
that shit would have passed if he would have probably just got like a regular common foul back in the 80s. But that's not gonna fly now. However, I'm not
Today's.
mad. I'm not mad that he fouled him. I wish he
Mhm.
didn't fling him to the ground. I wish he had just grabbed him. But at the same time, like, I'm not mad that he fouled him. I'm not mad that he retaliated. What I am mad about is that the dude who got hit also got ejected. I didn't like that.
Yeah, like
I'm
that's
like,
kind of weird. That's
I'm
like
like, why are you ejecting the
that's the
dude that
hard
got
foul.
hit? And he didn't even throw a punch.
Yeah,
Dude
he just
fouled him.
fouled him
He did what
hard.
he was supposed to do and walked away.
Walked away.
Other man's made a beeline to him and swung at the back of his head, and then and
Exactly.
then he,
Yeah, that wasn't
he's
fair.
being
Yeah.
shielded by about 10 players, and then the other dude about 5 seconds later realized what I'm happy he said, oh hell no. But I don't know. At the end
Sports
of
is
the day, I
just
just I just
different
I
era,
just
man. I don't know. Sports kind of
I
got soft.
just
Let's be real. Sports is just so like they're trying to keep
society's
it so
gotten
safe.
soft.
And yeah, man, it's just not. It's just like we're trying to adapt to it and everything. And the fans, of course, are gonna. The referees have to hear it from the fans. It's just no is a better analogy. I think the NFL was trying to prevent what happened to Terrell Owens, just like break dancing the logo. But I mean, he had that comment. I guess with the celebrating.
What
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's trying to prevent from a big fight happening. I just think the taunting stuff is petty. Let players celebrate. Football, it takes a lot to get a touchdown. Like the celebrations is what really makes like some of the best touchdown, iconic moments, bro. I think
Literally.
Roger Goodell is just being like petty at this point. That's what I think he's doing. Man, just let the players celebrate, man. Just have fun out there having fun with it.
That's why
I
the
don't
NFL
understand.
is becoming the no
No
fun league
fun league.
because you
Yup.
can't have
NFL and
fun.
no fun league.
You
Yup.
can't have
Just the
fun.
initials. Cause like
You can't have fun.
really, I'm like, really? Because before they let the players celebrate, remember the whole Antonio Brown thing? It's like, bro,
Mhm.
let Antonio Brown dance. Now they started penalizing them, then they let it go. It's like now they're bringing it back again. I'm like, bro, really? That's like for what? At this point, NFL is just trying to get more money out of players, bro. It was like capitalism. It's like, oh yes, let's find a way to get some more money out these players. Let the pay on, man. I
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
don't know, man. I don't agree with it at all. Honestly, I know everyone had more. I wish it was orange. I know everyone have a lot to say about this. Shoot, this thing about the toner, knowing how
And the
energized
thing
he is.
is,
But
this
yeah,
whole
yeah.
progression into the NFL being called the no fun league, it's been happening for years now. It's not a new thing. It's just now
Mm-mm.
it's getting to where, come on now. How you gonna stop the players from celebrating Tony? Like I said, this is the
And
National
this is
Football
football,
League.
bro.
This is
Football, the
football.
sport itself, yeah,
Football
bro.
is the most
A physical sport, yeah.
testosterone pumped sport. Like everything in football is all about. It's basically a lot of reaction. It's a lot of taunting, a lot of shit talking, a lot of pushing and shoving. It's very physical. It's a grown man's game. It's a tough man's game. Like
It
if you
only
can't
comes
take
around
the
a certain
hit,
part of the year,
you
like
can't take the hit, don't
yeah,
play
like
football.
yeah,
If you can't take the
it's high
taunting, don't
intensity.
play football. If you can't take the shit
Like
talking,
you have
don't
to be
play
mentally
football.
prepared
If
for
you
football.
can't
One
take
thing,
all the
yeah.
nuances that come with it, don't
Mm-hmm.
play the sport.
And that's the one
Play
reason
something
why I
else.
didn't play football myself. Cause like mentally, I feel as though, bro, I would get too mad if I played football, like a physical sport like football. Yeah, because I'll be ready like to fight somebody if I get hit the wrong way. I was like,
Right.
yeah, bro.
Oh
That's
no,
why
I
football
actually
probably I'll be
feel
getting too emotional, bro, in football, bro. Knowing me, that's why I never
yeah.
played it. I was like, yeah, some
See,
sports
see, I
you had
only
to be,
didn't play football because I was scared to get hit. I didn't want to get hit. I
bro.
can
Some sports
take,
can
I
change
can,
your
I
life.
can take. I play basketball, and y'all have met my father. I can take some shit talking.
Oh no,
That's
yeah.
nothing. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
oh,
that's
this is
nothing to
different. Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, But
Yeah,
but
but
like
it's
the
just
football, your
like,
hits
yeah,
can
you're
change your life.
smart
Honestly, yeah.
because you know. You were like,
And I'm a
listen, I
small frame
can't.
too.
Exactly. You can't, like, don't be stupid. Like, sports is something where you pick the one that
So
you could
different.
succeed the best in.
You can
Don't
adapt to,
you
yeah.
can
Mm-hmm.
adapt to, like,
You
football.
gotta like what you're
If I
doing.
had better grades, I didn't have the injury, I'd be fine. I would have probably at least went to play college football. So it's just like you have to have a certain hard, like sports period. You have to have a hardness,
Of
but when it comes
course.
to football, you have to have that physical. Okay, you could take the taunting, you could take the shit talking, you could take the hits, you could take all the nuances because then nothing is gonna phase you. Absolutely nothing can phase. And this is the NFL. This ain't no fucking rec football league. This is the top football association in the world. in America. This is not no freaking, Maryland flag football league where, it's freaking old heads down the street talking shit. No, these are $1 million players playing at the
High
highest sport,
expectations.
the highest
Thousands of
expectation,
people watching. A lot
highest
of people. I mean, millions of
level of
people watching.
competition. So
A lot
people are
of
gonna
people.
talk.
Yeah.
People are gonna
Yeah.
talk shit. People are gonna push and shove. People are like, bro, what the heck? What are you doing? People are gonna hit each other. People are gonna do all that stuff.
Putting the best show. Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. All that is gonna happen. That's part of the game. And the problem with the NFL, they've been slowly over the years, for the past decade, they've been taking pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces.
Like the
Yeah, I'm
game
kind, I'm
away
kind
with
of
these
taking,
penalties.
I'm kind of taking Evan's place in this. But yeah, they're taking pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces away of the nuances of what makes football, American football, such a great sport. You can't tackle no
Mhm.
one. You can't really talk trash. Now they're trying to take away the taunting. What's next?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't understand. Like,
I understand the tackling rule
Right.
or the
because they
headshot
want to,
rule, I understand. Helmet to
Yeah,
helmet,
they
because
I
want to protect
understand
the
that.
players. Right.
Helmet
Right.
to helmet, I understand that.
yeah,
That's I
because they
totally
want to
understand.
prevent concussions.
Right. And I
Because
Yeah, because
understand
that's
that.
not necessary. Yeah, you don't have to tackle. You don't have to go head
right,
to head. That I understand. Yeah.
they're trying to make football as they're trying to make a very violent sport less violent.
Right.
But what they need to understand is
It's
that
hard to do.
it's like there's only so much you can do without altering
Exactly.
the game.
That's the point I was
Like
gonna
you're
get
still
to.
gonna get freak injuries like what you got with Dak Prescott. You're still gonna
Mhm.
have guys getting their clocks clean.
Mm-hmm.
You, you know, and if these guys, I'm not saying guys want to get smacked, helmet to helmet, but what I'm saying is like um these guys signed up for this,
Right.
you know.
That's all I'm saying. Is like you know what you signed up for. When not only you coming to the NFL, when you went to college, when you started playing as a little kid in rec league, as you ended up going to high school football, you know what you're signing up for. And when I mean tackling, I mean I understand why they kind of tone down in the physical contact. Of course, they want to preserve people's bodies, people's health. Understandable, but when you're altering the game to the point when it's literally the fact that you can't touch anybody in a sport
Oh
where
yeah,
physical contact
oh
is
yeah,
basically the
I
whole
agree with that.
antithesis of the sport, that's my problem. What the heck? That's my problem. Like that's literally the problem with that. I'm all
Yeah,
for protecting the players. I'm
yeah.
all
One thing I want
for
to say about that,
defending
I
them.
think what the NFL messed up with this whole like new with the quarterback protecting the QB because you started seeing like these penalties, these unnecessary roughness calls on QBs. I'm like, bruh, that was not a necessary roughness call. Like the NFL really did too much of that. Like, remember
Yeah.
one time, like literally Tom Brady, he got an unnecessary roughness call, whatever, where like they called it on the defender. I think it was the Chiefs versus the Patriots, actually. It was the
Mm-hmm.
AFC Championship game. Literally, all he did was like tap Tom Brady's face mask. Didn't even
Mm-hmm.
grab it or
I
nothing.
remember.
And the referee threw a flag, bro, and
I
got
remember that.
15 yards. And that really helped the Patriots win a game off that penalty. That really like determined the game. I'm like, bro, really? I'm like, yeah, to the point where like they're taking away the way you tackle. I'm like, come on, bro. How is she supposed to tackle another grown ass man? Like, bro, like somebody had to tackle a certain way. I'm like, come on, helmet's a helmet, yeah, but they started saying, oh yeah, you can't tackle too much above the body. I'm like, that's too weird. And we seen a Dolphins defender, I forgot his name, but we saw him tear his ACL off because like he couldn't even tackle a certain way. So we're getting defenders hurt because he got to like do this ballerina stuff, alter their way of, they're taking down somebody else. I'm like, what the hell, bro? I'm like,
Right.
this is getting ridiculous, man. Like, this is like football for God's sake. Like,
I mean,
I'm just saying.
the
I'm like,
the thing is, you can,
how,
and again, this is what I was saying. Like, you can. That's one thing about the NFL that you have to give them credit for is they're cracking down on those helmet to helmet hits. They say
mhm.
you cannot hit them above. You can't hit them above the neck,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't hit
Hit
them
them.
at the knees. You can't chop block them. Like
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah,
chop
like
them.
with the legs. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the top block.
so
Because Brock, yeah, got messed up with that.
so I mean, the thing is, shit like that happens. It happens.
And some
Injuries,
chop blocks are
injuries. No, no,
by
no.
accident.
I'm not talking about chop blocks. I'm talking about just
Yeah,
injuries in
in
general. You're talking about
general.
the Dolphins
Yeah,
player. I know
but
exactly what you're talking about.
mm-hmm. Yep.
But either way, injuries like that happen. You can't change up the rule just because one person got hurt because he forgot how to tackle the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
that. Like that. It. It sounds fucked up, but it really isn't. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah, but thing is, when they change the rules, it's like of course, there's always gonna be like nitpicking with certain players. They protect certain players, and certain players they let get away with. You know how it is. It's like, for example, like you see like a running QB, for example, it's like he gets hit on like as he's running or like maybe scrambling on like another player like Tom Brady, who's like a pocket QB, and he gets hit a certain way. Sometimes they tend to call more like they don't get Tom Brady gets more flags than somebody probably like Cam Newton, for example. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes it's different when they're like the kind of QBs. We've seen that with the NFL though, or like the playing style. It's like the refs, they expect the QBs to run maybe to take the contact when some hits are unnecessary. And then sometimes like pocket QBs like Brady, they get hit a certain way. They just like throw a flag. And we've seen that a lot. Or like literally get tapped on the face mask and you want to like throw a flag on that. I'm like, bro, that's just like nitpicky right there. And it's just like that's why you set these rules. It sets up for like nitpicky stuff. That's like why bring them up, bring up the rule. Oh, it just sets up for like controversial calls. And that's why I think it should just be prevented by like not even bringing up the rule at all. It just sets up for like controversy. That's just me. Like for more controversy. Like it's just hard to change schools in football since it's so physical to make it safe. That's just me, man.
Oh no, like I
Yeah.
understand one
Right.
hundred percent.
Yeah, and it's
And
like messing up the like flow of the
right.
game too, and like the outcome of the game. It's like you don't want to see that. It's like we've been seeing enough of that going on. It's just
Yeah, like I
you
said, I
know,
just
man.
wanna I wanna really get through that topic. So we kinda all set our stance on
Mm-hmm.
that. So sticking to
Yep.
football, which rookie quarterback you guys think is gonna perform the best this season? I'm gonna let y'all
Um,
hold heavy on
I
this.
I let Darian go
um,
first because I let Darian go.
well,
Too
if
early to say,
you
but
it,
still say
it, it is and
way
it's
too. It's only one
and
preseason game,
I
but to
really
say
I'm
most
saying I'm
impressive,
saying this just to overreact. We all know it's too early. We all know it's been one preseason game, but we're just to overreact.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it to Justin Fields,
Yeah,
and then
smart.
I'm gonna say Mac Jones.
See, me and you just think just the same, yup. Because like Justin Fields, if you
I'm
talk about
thinking
impression
Justin
wise,
Fields and then
yeah,
Mac Jones because
mm-hmm.
but the thing that I like about Justin Fields is Justin Fields like he was the number one recruit to Georgia. Georgia decided that they were going to keep with Jake Fromm, which at the time I didn't really
Worked
hate
out,
because
worked
I
out,
because
kind of
I
sort of.
because I like Jake Fromm at Georgia. He
He was
almost won
good at
them a
Georgia,
national championship. Maybe Justin Fields would have won them a couple national championships. We'll
right?
never know because Justin Fields got basically he got benched Georgia. He said, "Well, I'm not here to not play." So then he goes to
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, and now he comes out of Ohio State, and as the whole like with the whole like rookie QB evaluation process going on, none of those there every year there's always one quarterback. There's always one quarterback that just gets killed. Unfortunately, that had to be Justin Fields. And the thing is, the sample size that we had for Justin Fields was humongous. For the longest time, I was thinking it was 1A, Trevor Lawrence, 1B, Justin Fields. And then you have Mac Jones, and then Trey Lance. Where Trey Lance hadn't played since 2019, and he was a
Yeah,
third
it's kind
pick.
of wild with him.
He
Yeah,
was the
right.
third pick in on the NFL draft. Now, granted, the reason why he hadn't played since 2019 was because at North Dakota State, because of COVID, their season was canceled. But
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Zach Wilson, who we haven't heard jack squat about. And then
It's BYU, not really a big market school.
here's Mac Jones, who's built like fucking Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's baby. Like you look at Mac Jones and you just see somebody who looks like all they do is like all they did in college was like bullshit
Study
papers and
football.
no, it was bullshit papers and just drink beer on Fridays. Like that's all they did.
And and then
Like
study
they
football
like they
after that.
like they graduated high school with a 2.5.
Not even a
I
2.5,
mean,
but
I
he
mean, not
want to
high
do
school,
it. He's
college.
one
Like
to be
graduated college with a fucking 2.5.
like he's one of the
Like
people
he,
they just made him graduate because they knew he was going to the NFL. So like,
like
oh, let's
he,
make ourselves
like
look good.
like he looks like the epitome of C's get degrees.
Literally.
But but everyone was talking about his IQ and
He
that
got that swagger to him. That's why I like
he's
that
more
Jones.
athletic than he looks. He has that swagger to him, and he
Yeah,
has a
that's
little
what
bit
I'm
of
like.
crazy to him. And from what I'm hearing out of training camp is, yeah, he got a little you say Psycho Tom, well, he got some Psycho Mac, and they were saying that the Patriots offense during the preseason game, like it the flow, it flowed better than it did with Cam
I noticed that. See, I'm gonna
with
get to
with
that. Mm-hmm.
with Mac. That Mac was more like Tom Brady. It was like and he was like boom boom, okay, cool, I'm gonna go here. And Cam was kind of like hesitant. But I say all that to say, like, we said all this about, like, we said all these great things about Trevor Lawrence, who is the golden boy, Zach Wilson, who's the
Definitely has the
next,
most potential. Trevor Lawrence.
who's the next Joe Namath. Trey Lance came out of nowhere. Mac Jones is better than what everyone says they are. I think Mac Jones is the only rookie quarterback in this class that got almost as much scrutiny as Justin Fields did. People were killing Justin Fields. But when he came out in that first preseason game and he did what he did, that from this little bit that we've seen from him, like, I would say that the one I think that would make the best leap is Justin Fields, because at the same time, the Bears are really a quarterback away from being legitimately good.
Never had a great QB.
Yeah, we can't trust
That's why I
them.
love it.
They've never
I'm
had
gonna
a
get to
great
that.
QB
I'm gonna let
for
Darren finish. I'm gonna get to
years.
that. Yup.
They never had a great QB since Jim McMahon all the way back in the 80s
80s,
when they were
85.
when they were winning Super Bowls.
With
And
defense,
since
really.
since then, at least from my lifetime, who they've had is Sexy Rex Grossman. Redskin fans know. Oh, I'm sorry,
Jay
football
Cutler,
fans know.
the GOAT.
Jay,
The GOAT, Jay
got
Cutler.
they got Jay Cutler, who really I like Jay Cutler.
Oh my god!
I like Jay
No, the
Cutler.
reason I'm laughing, bro, they
just,
clowned the shit out that
bruh,
man,
it's just
bro.
like Jay
Because
So
Jay
many
Cutler got
jokes.
his money and he just stopped caring. And
Literally didn't give a
he
fuck,
literally
bro.
said it
That man,
himself.
he
said
got
it.
the
That's why I
bag and said,
laughed.
"I'm good."
He said in an interview, he's like, my passion. He literally said himself, I'm really not into football like that anymore. He literally said that himself in an
He
interview. I'm
did
like,
say, "I remember that
wow.
interview, bro." That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, they real life ran all the way to clown him, but he kind of put it on himself. He literally like stopped caring. He got the bag. It was like, bet I'm straight for life.
But they
But the Bears
had
QBs.
Sexy Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler. I think they had Mike Glennon for
They did. Yeah, Mike
certain,
Glennon.
They did.
Like
a certain point in
Yeah.
time.
Like a season or two.
And then they went through their whole Mitchell Trubisky phase,
that was a fail.
which I also didn't hate I didn't hate Mitch, but it's just like I rooted for Mitch Trubisky, but he would just do things that would just make me just go, really, bro? Why?
Them turnovers, man. I'm just like decision making. Yeah. Yup. He's not it.
And now,
you know what? Yup.
and now he's playing as Josh Allen's backup.
And it's funny, yeah. It's funny. I'm gonna get into the Justin Fields thing. Yeah, to me, when it comes to the rookie QB comparisons, because I was watching First Take the other day, and like to me, I agree with actually Max Kellerman. It's where I agree with Max Kellerman said. Even though it's kind of early, I still think this is like one of the best classes of QBs we've seen since like the early 2000s. Of like,
you can't say that. You can't say that.
Like. Because like I just think there's like a lot of potential with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson. When I saw him, he looked NFL right. He just looked, poised on a field. Mac Jones, to me, that was like my number 2 pick besides Justin Fields, though. But like Darian was saying, Mac Jones went in there and that Patriots offense. under like a legendary coach like Bill Belichick, and he played under like another legendary college coach like Nick Saban, he looked like completely ready. And that goes to show like the way he was playing and the way he was letting the offense flow. He didn't like he was really a rookie. He just looked like he was out there just doing his job, focus and everything. And really, he just has like the potential to like be a solid QB, like in pocket QB, and have like the accuracy. I want to say be as good as Brady, but definitely like be that quarterback that can like get out the pocket. Just fundamentals, like Mr. Fundamentals, honestly, like Brady. And I saw that in Mac Jones and Justin Fields. To me, I want to call it like no Pat Mahomes type player, but like he's like his own player where he can get out the pocket, he can scramble, he can simply just make things happen. And we've seen players like Justin Fields, for example, like to me, when I saw Justin Fields playing, I saw like a little bit of Michael Vick in him as far as like running, because literally that man ran 20 miles an hour, like when he took off scrambling. That dude is fast. Justin Fields, he can fly. And if you can have that on your offense, and the Bears never had that on their offense, the fact that they have like that dual threat QB out of Ohio State down in the offense, that says a lot. And the Bears definitely finally landed a jackpot. Like Darian said, they're a QB away from being that team, that team to actually go to another Super Bowl. And the last time they went to the Super Bowl is when last time they actually had a decent QB, when they played when they went up against the Colts, and they actually had like a decent quarterback. And I think Justin Fields has the potential to be that Pro Bowl quarterback.
Sexy Rexy.
And I see it. Yup. I think the Bears, it's like that's literally all they've been missing, because the Bears always had like a good defense. And their defense is like pretty good this season. They got Khalil Mack. They got pretty good corners. Like, and now you have a quarterback like Justin Fields. I say like he was I was most impressed by him based off of week one. Depending on how he does in the next 2 preseason games, that's why I'm so happy they only cut it to 2 preseason games. So the players don't have like they can get enough snaps in without the less person getting hurt. I say what the Bears should do. I say they should start Andy Dalton week one. Maybe let him start like a couple games. Let Justin Fields get a feel, because I still think Andy Dalton can probably win the Bears games, honestly, with the defense, because the Bears have weapons, and we saw Justin Fields going off like this with like third team reps, and like what I'm saying, like third strings and everything. Imagine what he can do with like the first stringers in. And the Bears, they actually have some receivers like Allen Robinson, Cordell Patterson, and they got good have a decent running game with Tariq Cohen and everything. So, hey, Justin Fields really like impressed me the most. And we know, like I said, it's only been week one, and the number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, he didn't look the most impressive at all for the number 1 pick. It's the Jaguars. He did have like the fumble, and like he got sacked twice. But stat wise, he didn't have an interception. He didn't have like after turnover. So that's not bad. He just basically played basic. And Trevor Lawrence, he still has
first play of the game.
Yeah, first play of the game. Yeah, he got sacked twice. But other than that, he got his downs, moved the chains a little bit. And like I say, like we got to see him in 2 more games. Let's see what Urban Meyer does with like Trevor Lawrence, And Urban Meyer's a pretty good head coach himself, but now he's in the NFL. But I still think he has the potential. I think Urban Meyer's just getting more hyped up, if anything, because considering like the circumstances he's been through, with the whole like health problems he's had and everything. So Trevor Lawrence and everything, and the Jaguars, they definitely have potential. Zach Wilson, he looked pretty impressive as well, like fundamentals and everything. Mac Jones fundamentals, but impressive wise, Justin Fields, I would have took Justin Fields over Trey Lance. I'm surprised Justin Fields even fell number 11. Like teams who pass up on Justin Fields, to me, I think fumbled the bag. Like
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that because Kyle Shanahan was very, very high on Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. And people was talking about Trey Lance, like when they started talking about this QB class, Trey Lance's name was coming up.
Yeah, a lot more than just
so it didn't really surprise me that he rose in the QB conversation, and that he got picked in the top 5, because we already knew that the first 3 picks were going to be quarterbacks.
Yeah, of course.
The first three were going to be quarterbacks, and then the other 2 were going to drop off into the mid to late first round.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that when the Patriots moved up, I knew they was getting Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, yeah.
The Bears was what was surprising when they went and got Justin Fields. But I thought that was really smart by them. I want to go back to what you said, Mark, about them starting Andy Dalton week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. you know, and I think it's just like it's the NFL and the NBA. They all do this. Base baseball's kind of baseball's kind of what is it? They're kind of patient, and
Mm-hmm.
and this is just tradition in in hockey when you're drafted high and they just throw you into the fire. But
Uh-huh.
but let these youngins develop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I took away from week 1 of the preseason is this was the first time we got to see Jordan Love play football
And
in
Jordan
an
Love didn't look too bad himself.
in an NFL uniform,
Honestly.
and he
Only thing
didn't
we're
look
talking about rookies, but it's
and
like, yeah,
and he
he looked
didn't look
impressive
bad
himself.
for somebody who hadn't played football in 2 years, hadn't played a
Mm-hmm.
live game in 2 years. So because again, remember preseason was um what is it canceled last year because of COVID.
Yeah,
We really didn't get to
COVID.
see Jordan Love, who was picked first round by the Green Bay Packers,
Mm-hmm.
who happens to be backing up Aaron Rodgers. The
And he
Packers are
played pretty
doing
good for all the talk
the,
around him
the
too.
Packers are doing what Jordan are doing to Jordan Love with Aaron Rodgers, what they did with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Only thing is, I hope the Packers don't
Jordan
treat.
Love,
I just hope
yeah,
the pack. I just hope the Packers find a way to not treat Aaron Rodgers like how they did Brett Favre. But
yeah. But Jordan
but
Love is no Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. That's the only difference. It's like I don't
but
think he has that potential to be that crazy. Because Jordan,
we don't
listen,
know.
Aaron
We
Rodgers and
don't
Brett
know
Favre
because
are like they're one of a kind. Yeah, I mean,
who thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be this good.
you're right. I mean, we saw it back in that Super Bowl, but you're right though. You're right though. There's a point. I did
So
see it. Yeah, you're right.
but I just feel like it depends on what your situation is. Andy Dalton is not a bad quarterback to learn from
Yeah, not at all. Because he had some
because
success.
but
He
because just like Andy Dalton had been a starter in the league for a good part of 13, 14 years.
yeah, he's seasoned.
He's won in this league. He's won division titles. He's been to
Mm-hmm.
playoff games. Unfortunately, he can't play defense and he can't catch
Right.
balls and he
And
can't
he
kick
can't
field
prevent
goals
penalties.
and he can't prevent penalties. Well, he can,
But you get
he
what I'm
can't
saying, yeah.
he can't do everything. We're on the same page, Mark. He can't do everything. So the Bengals didn't really win playoff games. Andy
Yep.
Dalton is not a bad quarterback, and I really hope and
He was
pray,
just with the Bengals.
and I really hope and pray that people don't use last year as the measuring stick of who Andy Dalton is, because the Cowboys had a lot of problems offensively,
That
and
O
everyone's
line
saying,
couldn't do anything.
and everyone's saying, oh, well, you had CD, Amari, and Gallup and Zeke. How could you not win with this team? Well,
And
we
as an
can't
Eagles
play.
fan, I can admit your O line was banged up.
Andy Dalton, Michael Gallup, Zeke Elliott, and CD Lamb. Well, they can't play defense, and
They can't
also our
block that
offensive
offense.
line was shite.
Yeah. Go ahead and wrap up your points. I don't
Mm.
want to be on this topic for too long. We got to
Yeah,
get to moving.
I feel
our
yeah. You making good points though. Yeah, like
No, yeah,
yeah,
you're
our
making very good
offensive
points, definitely.
the offensive line was shite. So it's just like Justin Fields. I'm all like basically my point is I'm all for the young rookie QBs if they can, if their situation allows it to kind of just sit and learn. But today's in both basketball and football really doesn't give these high young draft picks room to learn.
They don't. Sadly, it's like I think that's a societal issue too. People are just not patient anymore. But especially when it comes to the NFL and the NBA, it's like you got to give these young players time to learn the game, to develop, get their skill set, know their role. So many things. Like you can expect a rookie to learn all of that in one season. No, in both of the leagues, these two leagues are the premier leagues of their sport. It's gonna take you a few years just to learn the game. Let it slow down for you. You start to kind of really break it down at a super molecular level, and then maybe like what your fourth or fifth year, that's when you really truly kind of like get your game together. So I'm just like, you can't be given you got 2 years, and if you're not anything in 2 years, we're gonna give up on you. Like what? It doesn't make any sense. But we're going to go to the NBA Summer League. NBA Summer League this year was truly, truly interesting because we saw a lot of not
It was
only the
probably too lit.
drafted. It was like we saw not only some of the drafted players kind of show out and show what they got, but some of the undrafted players. Like the Heat had like half their team was undrafted, and they were going at the opponent like, listen, we got to prove that we belong here. They got a contract, we
Mm-hmm.
don't. I think that was Max Struss. Yeah. It was Max Struss. He ended up saying, listen, we got caught there. We got to be dogs. And they went out there. They were dogs, man. You know, it was like almost every team in the summer league really had something to look forward to. I don't like. I kind of watched not too much of it, but I watched enough where I kind of knew everything that was going on, and I didn't really have it wasn't a boring game because this is
Some
the
players they playing like bro NBA games.
right
Yeah, when I was
exactly. This
watching,
is
it,
the
I'm
thing
like they out there
about
balling.
summer
I like
league,
it, man.
preseason, all this stuff. You cannot look at it like it's a
It's like,
regular
dang, it's just
season
summer
game.
league, but it's like,
You
sheesh,
gotta
they
you
still
gotta look
balling.
at it
Respect
as like,
it.
okay, I see this player made this move. Okay, oh, they shifted this way. Oh, they took that type of shit. Like it's all potential. It's all projections. It's all okay. They did
Mm-hmm.
something good. It's not about the winning or the losing. Nobody cares that the Kings won the summer league. The Kings haven't been in the playoffs in 15 years.
Scouts and coaches are watching for real. It's about
Coaching coaches, they're
like
just
who looks the
watching.
best.
Okay,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because
It's
every
like
every
who's really
every
ready
NBA
for the NBA.
roster they have probably 3 spots left after this free agent, so they're looking okay. Which player is gonna mess well with our team? Watch how they play, how they perform. It's not but the wins and losses. Coach, scouts, and everyone is there to see. Okay, how could this person fit on the team? What role can they play?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really something. And there's a lot of talent, man. The summer league is not how it used to be, where it used to actually be boring. You know, it's just a whole bunch of guys just breaking shots.
This
You know,
summer
it
league
was
was lit.
like,
We were seeing
yeah,
highlights.
this
Like
summer,
Sports Center been
yeah,
posting like highlights after
yeah.
highlights. I'm like,
It was
bro, like
there was
we're
dudes
seeing the
getting
new
dunked on.
generation.
Freaking someone pulled the
Like,
East Bay dunk in the middle of a game. It was crazy, man. It was
and
lit.
that's why I feel as though it's like the '90s kids. We're in a perfect generation because we really got to see like our generation growing up with NBA players. We got to see really like 3 eras. We got to see like the 2010 players come in, and now we're
Mhm.
seeing like the 2020s, like the new eras is coming in. We really got to see like 3 generations of like players in the NBA currently right now, like just upcoming, and we still get to see it. I really like, a good point,
And
man.
just
Like
how we
I'm
said
excited, man.
before, the
Like,
NBA is
yeah.
way more talented than it used to be. Like, of course, in terms of the top, you have, but in terms of like basically from you'll say like the top 20 to like the top 100 is very talented. It's not. It's way more talented than it ever was. Like the margins of the talent in the NBA, of course, the top talent, but like the margins in between, they're much bigger and much closer than ever before. Like I remember back in the day, like there was players that was literally getting minutes that they were literally doing nothing on the court. They were just there just to be a body. You don't really have much of that anymore. You have some teams where they have that vet, like the vet that's there. You know, he doesn't play much, but he's giving players tips after the game. But like, hey man, listen, that was a good shot you took, but you could have had a better look if you did this. And that's why I think players like Jared Dudley and what's his name, Udonis Haslam are so valuable. They don't really need to play, but they're basically like an extra coach on the floor in the locker rooms. They're the ones that get the camaraderie together. They get paid because they do the small things that help the team really go. So we don't have a lot of like players that's literally not even that. We like a lot. Everyone that's playing is talented. Like it's not like literally how it used to be, but literally I can remember there was players I'd be on the floor. And you're like, what? You're like, why is he here? Like we don't you don't really say that more a lot often nowadays. It's like okay, you can understand why he's playing. He's gonna do this. He's a shooter. He's a defender. He's a shot creator. He's one that's gonna push the tempo. He's the one that's masterful in transition. Like they literally can point it out. So I love that about the game. The game is getting more talented, and we in for a good one, man. The league is in good hands. like we said
And
in
we
the draft, the league is in good hands.
For sure, man.
and we said this and we said this before. Like when watching the Olympics, it literally um proved that the 15th man on the bench can sauce any regular man that's walking out on the street and that's just going to any little regular rec gym because you have Mo Wagner out here dropping 20 and 15s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Something
But
like
I I'm gonna be honest, and I was talking to you about this earlier, Sam. But like it's hard for me to watch summer league.
mm-hmm.
Kind of like how it's hard for you to watch like preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of flip. I can watch a preseason game and really like I'll just be watching just for like one person. Like I'll watch the Bears just to see Justin Fields.
Same.
But it could even be my Lakers, and it can even be like Detroit with Kate Cunningham or Houston with Jalen Green,
Mm-hmm.
or I could be watching Sacramento or
Yeah, I think Sacramento
Low key, that's the only
got,
reason why I've been watching summer league for
yeah,
the
I think
first round picks.
Sacramento,
Really,
they
that's
sorry
why
to
I've been
cut you
watching it.
off,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Davion Mitchell's a stud. He's a stud.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely a stud.
he's
bro,
going
he's
to
a
He'll be
be
good.
beast.
He's
nice.
a beast.
Summer league MVP, bro.
Nasty,
Like
bro.
Davion
He's a
Mitchell.
beast. Like I don't even understand why the Kings picked him up because they have De'Aaron Fox. They already loaded at the guard position. If anything, they should have got a big. But anyway,
Like, you want
like
to keep them both?
Davion Mitchell's good and right. Like I sense a trade coming. I could smell a trade coming, bro.
But
But yeah,
it's just hard for me to watch. Like I just can't watch a summer league game. I've never been able to do it. It just doesn't catch me.
This
it's
was the first
understandable,
year.
man.
Honestly, y'all, this is the first year I've really been in the summer league. You know why? Because what we've been talking about, the new generation. Because what I've been saying, some Cade Cunningham, he's actually proven he's the number one pick. You see his numbers in summer league. He's been like straight up balling out. Him and Jonathan Kaminga. I'm just like,
Oh
I've been
yeah.
saying like a month ago. Why did teams like the Warriors get Jonathan Kaminga, bro? Like, I said even
Listen,
before the draft. Like I did my research.
I think I
Jonathan
called
Kaminga
this
is
right.
that player, bro.
Right,
Don't hate the
he's a
player of the
stud.
game.
He's a
Mm-hmm.
stud.
Yep.
But I
Uh-huh.
called this before we even did the pod. I remember when I told you. I said, "Listen,
It's like the
remember
Warriors get
when they
better.
announced the G League?" And I said, "I'm telling you, everyone who plays on that team is going to get drafted."
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened. They all got drafted, and they all got drafted high. Remember, Jalen Green and Kaminga were on that team.
Both balling out.
Did you hear what
Jalen
Jalen
Green
Green
too, man.
said about Detroit
Yep. He said, "I love to
about
Oh,
be
I,
number
I,
one, but I don't want it to be in Detroit." Yeah, I remember. I saw that. I was laughing.
I saw that.
I was like, "Oh man, you stirring the pot, my brother."
yeah I see
But you know, Kate Cunningham said he wanted to bring the bad boys back. So you know what, Kate Cunningham, he kind
Honestly,
of sort of started
Kay
that vibe.
Cunningham,
He's
he
like he
do
wanted to bring that bad
right.
boys to
He
meter.
got the bad boys
He
vibe.
said
Honestly,
that.
he got that cool vibe. Like,
You
all right,
know,
bro, listen,
hey, he started to trash talk him first. It was like,
I'm gonna
look,
trash talk you and I'm
like
gonna hoop on
Detroit,
you at
he's
the
trying
same
to like
time. Like,
bring,
he got
that
that vibe.
energy back. He's trying to be that player again, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect it, man. Like, we're really seeing like the next generation of players that really want it in the NBA, like next super, like, it takes a lot to be a superstar. That's once in a lifetime. But I think we're seeing like the next generation, like a superstars in the NBA that really have that potential. They stay healthy, they really want it, and they show the passion for it. Because with that attitude, because we see some rookies that come in, they'll get their bag in the generation. They're kind of lazy. They really don't show as much passion as other players. It's like once they
Mm-hmm.
make it, it's like okay, they feel as though they don't have to like do too much. They're getting millions. But actually seeing these players who actually want to like legit change the game. You know what I'm saying? Like adapt and like make noise in the NBA for like decades coming. Like 10+ years. Like at least 10 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this draft class. Honestly, like with the NBA in particular, and I'm seeing it a lot with all the number one picks. Yeah, like it's kind of sort of with the NFL, but I know we're in the NBA. But yeah, we're just seeing it though, man, and I like it honestly. It's like a new
Speaking of
generation of
that,
talent because the young talent these days is
right,
different.
crazy,
Yeah, man.
absolute madness, man. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get into that
And
topic
Kate
now
Cunningham,
because
summer league, it's been the most like interesting, honestly. That's why it's been so interesting to me this year because I think it's been like one of the best, like one of like the best recent draft classes 2017. Honestly, it's the
mm-hmm.
2021 draft class. Yeah, that's why I actually been keeping up with summer league for real,
Mm-hmm.
for
We
real. Mm-hmm.
understand, my man. But yeah, let's get to
Yeah.
this topic because when Darius said, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, ooh, this about to be spicy. So, say you're the commissioner of the NBA, the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
the MLB, the NHL. Jesus Christ, I always fumble that. What would be the three rules you would change and why? And I'm just gonna get the NBA one out the way because that's just the easiest one. I was going to
Just
do,
three easy rule changes, like
right,
general rule changes.
yeah, basically like say you're the commissioner and you have the ability to change
Mm-hmm.
three rules of the game. What would you change? And I'm about to
Oh,
go into it. So NBA
I'll let y'all go first.
number one, the number one, I'm going to cut back on the foul calls. I'm going to say, listen, you refs, let the boys play a little bit more, be more leniency with the calls, because it's just like how you would say it. I can't stand how you get like a million. Oh, look who has joined us. Hello. Oh, we can't hear you.
Straight out the cut. I'm not even gonna hold you. She popped on the screen and scared the living hell out of me. I said, wait a minute, what is this?
But yeah, sadly we cannot hear you. Okay. But let me finish what I was saying. So
Oh,
number one rule would be cut back on the foul calls, man, because it's just like anybody got time for all that. It's so we talked about this last time when they made to slow down the game, make the game longer, cut back on the foul calls. Number two, we also talked about this again. I'm gonna implement a few FIBA rules, and so that the defense is stronger, is more physical, and everything. Because I feel like if the NBA goes back to that, we won't have this problem saying the game is soft. We can still tier the game to the offensive players, but make it more rougher to where defense really matters more, if y'all get what I mean. So that's the two rules. And then the third rule is, man, we got to the third rule I would do, I would extend when it comes to the All-Star game, I would make a few changes. Number one, I think we should make it more than I think it's like maybe what 11, 12 players. I would kind of expand it because you kind of have to because there's more all-star talent in the NBA and we don't want players that basically are like right there go through the whole careers without making an all-star game. So I would expand it to maybe 14. So that's my three changes I would make. So yeah,
All right.
cut back on the fouls, change the rules to make defense more physical, and I would change also the game where it's 14 players, and then I would also get rid of the dunk contest. Just get rid of it. Get rid of if you're not gonna put all stars or people that's known legit dunkers in it, get rid of it.
I let Darren go next. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna do the NFL. First things first, let's bring celebrations back.
Why I know you
Celebrations are
can say that.
fun. Yeah. Like let's bring celebrations back. I mean, I think that's the more obvious one. Um, Another one is the what is it? Is the roughing the passer rule.
Mm.
Like it irks my soul how one like these QBs can flop.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can be actors and they you come
This is
anywhere near them,
honestly,
they're
in my
gonna
opinion,
they're
is
gonna
the era of the most athletic when it comes to rushing QBs we've ever seen. These guys can move.
these motherfucking defensive ends are as fast as running backs now. It don't make no
It
sense.
don't.
It
it
don't
don't.
make
It don't make
it don't
sense.
make no damn
Thank you, Miss
sense,
Man.
bruh.
That makes sense, man.
There's no reason why some 6'5", 265-pound motherfucker is running me down.
Exactly. And like
No, no way.
he's matching your leg speed. Like I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, some Mark Henry built motherfuckers. But
Hey yo, he said Mark Henry. Oh my goodness.
but I would change that roughing the passer rule. I mean, of course, you can't just kill the quarterback, after he throws the ball, but like it has to be blatant. Like he like kills the quarterback intentionally. Because sometimes the QB will throw the ball. A defender will already be trying to hit him, and then like 5/10 of a second after he throws the ball, the quarterback's getting hit. You can't do anything. Like as a defender, you can't do anything. And then what's going to happen is what Mark was talking about earlier, where you're going to try and move and not hit the quarterback, and you're going to injure yourself because you don't want to get a 15-yard penalty. After you don't force the incompletion or whatever. And the third rule, I would move the kickoffs back, like to
Really?
where they initially were. Because now they moved it closer because they didn't want as many kick returns so that they could prevent injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. But I want to see guys run the ball back 103 yards for touchdowns and not just catch the ball back in the end zone, kneel down, and get a touchback. I don't want to see
I
that.
feel you on that. That's annoying. Yeah, that's kind of
That's
boring.
very
Because you
annoying.
usually see players do like 105. We seen like 103-yard returns before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's your three. So with my three rules, I'm gonna go with the NBA because Darian said a lot with the NFL. I agree with. So with the
Oh man, here
NBA,
we go.
yeah, three rule changes. I'll make it interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
personally, I will change like the. I feel as though the NBA should cut down on the amount of timeouts they have from 7, bring it down to maybe like 6 or 5. Because sometimes I feel as though like the timeouts in the NBA when it comes down when it's like a close game, it really slows down the game when coaches like call timeouts like back to back, especially when like we see like a big play happen in basketball where like they cut the game down to like a single possession. I feel as though some timeouts are unnecessary. It's like let the momentum keep going. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think just 7 timeouts is just like too much, honestly. And like we see coaches really use like 3 timeouts in a row in like the final 2 minutes. So it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
cut down
Also,
the
also some
NBA timeouts,
2K
maybe like
stuff.
5 timeouts.
Darren will
Because
get it.
NFL
Also,
always
2K
has
dumb
only
stuff.
has 3, and they know how to utilize that with the time. It goes a slower paced game, but it's just like still, man, like more time. But it's like NBA, yeah, they call timeouts 2 back to back to back sometimes. So that's one rule. I say cut down 7 timeouts to like 5 in the NBA. Also in the NBA, I'm a kind of coach like the international rules or like college collegiate rules. I say from 6 fouls. I say bring it down to 5 fouls. I kind of like the 5 foul limit rule because you know what? It kind of like gets the players more aware and everything. We've seen it. I feel as though it makes the game a little bit more interesting. Kind of like makes the players a little bit, more aware on defense and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of like lets the offense flow more and let them play smarter on defense. Maybe we see like less crazy, brick-headed defensive like plays or like unnecessary foul calls if like they cut down like some amount of fouls you get fouled out. It's like maybe 5 fouls like it is in college and like the like international rules and stuff. So I say that, and also another rule change. I say they should I understand they already changed up the shot clock where like if like you get an offensive possession, it doesn't reset to 24.
Yeah, it goes
It
to
just goes back
14.
like to 14. Whereas I like that, helps out the pace of the game. But also what I think will help out the pace of the game even better, or just extend the time in total like the players have. Like instead of having like 24 seconds, maybe give it to like maybe like 33 seconds or 34 seconds. So therefore they do miss a shot, it doesn't have to reset, to another like 10 seconds at all. They can still have enough time like to get what they need to do. And actually, like, yeah, man, that's just me.
Hey
I just
yo,
make it
hold on,
up, but
hold on.
yeah,
Did this man
yeah.
Mark just say expand the shot clock to
Yup,
32 seconds?
expand it, yeah. Yeah, 33, 34 seconds. I couldn't think of nothing else because Durian said my
Yo,
shit. So yeah,
James
that's what I
Harden's gonna
said.
love you, bro. James Harden will
I
love
bet he
you,
would
bro.
though.
Wait,
No,
wait,
he
wait,
would though.
wait, wait.
No,
So
because
before we move on, because our guest is here,
Right.
I just want to shout out Evan, who will be here soon, because my boy is famous.
Oh,
Let's
really?
go.
Really? That's
wait,
why I
what
was
happened?
laughing. I was like, bro,
This
oh
nigga
no.
made, bruh, this man went to a Nats game, cuts up as usual,
Of
and
course.
ends up on one of the biggest baseball Twitter pages
Oh,
out
he's been
there,
on it
bro. That
again.
shit is
Yeah.
tough.
That's
Now he
lit.
did though, bro. He's a
And he
whole
does,
meme.
bro.
Like literally, bro.
He does this every single game.
Yeah.
Casually, like,
Casually
bro,
cut
it's
up.
just himself. That's why I respect it. And now he's still making it though. And he still made another page, yup. The cut four is
That is
Son,
Hey,
absolutely
Evan, bro. Shout
beautiful.
out to Evan. I hope he hops on the pod soon.
I hope he does
Yeah.
get on. That would be fun. But are we good? Is your sound good?
Yeah.
Let's see if it's going good.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
oh no,
Still
oh
can't
no,
hear you, man.
oh no.
Oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're
Oh,
gonna get it. Oh,
wait.
there we
Can
go.
you...
Let's
We got it.
go.
There you go.
Hey,
Oh, okay. I had to hook up my studio monitor because I don't know what I did to my mic on my computer. So yeah.
That's good.
Am I
That's
that's the
loud?
good.
peace. It's all
Yes,
good.
yes, we can hear you.
But
Welcome.
am I loud?
Yeah,
Loud and clear.
you're like loud enough. You're good. It's not like
Not too
overbearing,
loud,
but you're
but
good.
you're clear though.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
clear.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen listening, our guest has arrived. The lovely, the
Hello.
wonderful Raina Reign has.
What's good? What's good?
How are you doing today?
I hear y'all over here talking about sports. I haven't kept up with it this year. I haven't
Mhm.
been more. I've been like isolating myself from everything because I've been going through artist development. So I just haven't.
I understand. Yeah.
Understand.
Completely understandable. So since you're here, We'll start with this topic. What is everybody's top 3 female artists?
My top 3 female artists
of all time.
of all time.
Wait,
Of
it was all
time.
time?
Okay.
I didn't know it was all
I didn't,
time.
Well, that
I
makes
didn't
it
know.
easier.
I was gonna say
Damn.
of all time.
Whoa,
That changes
makes
my
it
thoughts a
interesting.
little bit.
Yeah, that
You
kind
know, of course, I have to be an advocate for self because nobody's gonna support me more than me. But since I'm not gonna be selfish and take one of these spots, I'm just gonna let you guys know that I fully support being on this list of someone else's one day. Um, but it can't be mine. So I have to say my first one. Are you saying rap or just artists in general?
Artists in general.
Artists in general, yeah,
Artists in
any
general.
genre.
Aaliyah, number one, Aaliyah. If
Ooh.
you're talking about rap, I have to say female, Nicki. But at the
Ooh.
same time, my first rap female project I owned was Trina. But it definitely would have to go to either Nicki or I'm thinking like an older generational impact
That's what I'm going
would be
towards,
like Yo-Yo or either the one that sings I rock rolling stuff with my afro puffs. I can't remember. Is that who? No, that's not who sings that.
No.
Raps that. It's a song. I can't remember who raps that song right now, but that was like one of the first old school rap songs I ever heard, and it stuck. I have to say one of those. But if I had to go with today, it's definitely Lauryn Hill. It's definitely. But you said overall, so Lauryn Hill.
I was going to say Lauryn Hill.
Aaliyah.
I was going to say that.
But I mean, Lauryn Hill is an automatic. I'm thinking someone who's
She's like
right
yeah,
now.
great.
You know, like right now. And you know, my sister Meg. I love me some Megan. She's the good sis.
Oh yeah.
You know, I got.
She's always a vibe.
Yeah, that.
No, she's like good,
I
though.
knew.
She's
I was
good,
like,
but
she's gonna
like,
say bag. Megan's gonna somehow.
No, I fucks with Meg.
Like making it sound like
I
you
love
just
fucking
can't
Meg,
not like
though.
her.
We love her.
She's just like good personality, good music. You just can't
Mhm.
dislike her, really. Like,
So.
People will find a way to.
Oh no. We not getting to the politics.
That's a whole. Let's not go into that.
We
Yeah.
not get to the
Let's not go.
politics.
Yeah. Good vibes today.
Okay, so I got to put
I
Nicki
gotta think of mine
because
Give me
Nicki,
some time,
her
hold up.
impact on rap, impact on the game, and her longevity, got to put it.
Mhm.
That's
That's
just
always,
automatic.
you gotta throw Nicki. You
Got
have
to.
to put Nicki in there because
Mhm.
without Nicki, you're not gonna have people respect rap still
Mhm.
for females because for a long time females were not putting out rap music,
Mhm.
and Nicki was on every fucking feature rapping with the big dogs.
Mhm.
You can't leave her out of a conversation.
No,
when
she
you
definitely
say
was a
rap.
part of that big Young Money, Cash Money era for
Mhm.
sure. Like, I
And the
can't
thing
even
is, she
deny that.
came
She was
up.
definitely
Thing
high
is,
in like
a lot of
09.
what people don't realize is a lot of these female rappers that are out right now would not be where they are if it wasn't for Nicki.
Yeah, 100%, man. Because she came out during the time, like our guest said, that females are really making like rap music. Like she kind of really started that whole generation where like there's tons of females out here that said like, man, Nicki is my inspiration. She's the one that kind of pushed me. But like, listen, let me get into the
Mhm.
rap game. So hers, I got put number one. I was
But you
gonna.
have to be careful when you say that. You got to
Mhm.
be careful when you say that because you can offend some female artists who did grow up listening to like I did, grew up listening. I'm not, like I said, I'm not shading like the whole conversation you guys just had because I totally agree. You
Mhm.
know, but you have to keep in mind that there is a generation of rap females that did grow up with seeing other rap females before Nicki came out. Like
Of
it
course.
was like that gap, you know,
Mhm.
like I'll say like the 90s girls, because at that time, you know, that's when Fergie was killing the rap scene. A lot of people don't want to admit
yeah.
that, but
Mhm.
She was.
Fergie was definitely, and Gwen Stefani was definitely on the rap
Yeah, Gwen
scene.
Stefani. That's
And
another
it
name
is
that people
Missy
sleep
Elliott
on.
was up there too. I say Missy Elliott was
Missy
up there
Elliott,
too.
Missy,
But I
but
was gonna say her.
I'm going by pop culture because when I
Mhm.
think of rappers now, a lot of them are pop now, and we're talking about Nicki, and Nicki is trap, Nicki is hip hop, but Nicki succeeded
She
in
can switch it
pop just
up.
like that.
She can
Like
switch it up.
she
Yup.
can switch it up, but her bag was her bag is definitely pop. And I'll say, before Nicki came and dominated pop, you had Black Eyed Peas, you had Gwen Stefani, you had Missy Elliott, you had Lil Mama with lip
Lil
gloss,
Mama.
you
Mhm.
had
I forgot Lil
Trina,
Mama, yup.
That was-
you
yeah.
had
I was just about to say Lil Mama.
Trina
Mhm.
You had Trina, but you know what I'm saying? You know, you can't leave out Missy Elliott. Man, I remember I was in school talent shows doing a whole damn dance routine to music make you lose control. So it's just like
That's a classic.
so
Yeah, it's like you can't go
I'm
wrong with
telling
Missy
you.
Elliott.
That's a
So
classic,
it's like,
man.
you know, at the same
She's
time,
a
it's like you
vibe.
have a very valid point. Like you can't have a conversation without saying Nicki dominated, but you can't
Yeah, don't.
necessarily
Yeah,
say
right.
that every female that comes out, I say within my generation will be probably the last few before you can honestly say that Nicki Minaj had something to do.
I hope she doesn't lag out.
After you realize you do, sometimes it could be influenced, sometimes just be like we're girls, like sometimes we say shit similar to one another. But I will say that aspiration wise, she has made me inspired to achieve some of the things that she has achieved, like I mentioned before. But I can't necessarily say she influenced my style because I grew up already knowing what type of artist I wanted to be, you know.
Mhm.
But I will say inspiration wise, she does inspire me to achieve the things that she have achieved, if not greater, if that makes sense. But I don't want to sound like Nicki. Like I
Right.
respect her flow and her style so much that it's like, if my shit sounds too much like hers, I'm gonna feel like I'm not a true fan. And
Mhm.
sort of say, because now I'm trying to target your audience for, you know, with your sound, and I should be targeting my own with what I grew up listening to and what really truly influenced me, which would be Aaliyah, Lauryn Hill, which I've heard her name some of these same people that influenced her. So it really
Mhm.
just boils down to like the nitty gritty, like who is the most impactful female artist, if it boils down to that question. Because some of us that are really deep into this name some of the same people as their influencers.
100%.
Nah,
Like I said,
for
I
real.
wasn't
That's
throwing
facts.
shade to anyone. Like I said, I didn't. I
Oh
was
no.
just thinking of
Mhm.
Nicki had the biggest impact. Like this, like
Oh
scaling
yeah.
it for sure, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
So
Oh
Nicki
Yeah,
no,
I agree
definitely.
with
definitely.
that.
But
Yeah,
I
that's why
definitely
my
you
top
brought up
three
a
lists
very
is kind
beautiful
of
point.
like,
You brought up a
yeah,
very
like
beautiful point.
honestly, yeah. And with my top three lists are like female artists of all time. Like I was gonna say, literally, I was gonna say Lauryn Hill, like you said, Missy
Mm-hmm.
Elliott, and I can
Oh
definitely
yeah.
throw Nicki Minaj in there because with like the
Mm-hmm.
2010s, it's like when she was with
She
the
killed
Young
it.
Money and Cash Money, yeah, like she
Literally,
was
She
hot. Like
killed it.
yeah, with the
literally.
Bedrock song, I was like, yeah, Nicki Minaj. She was like one of the main like you know female artists you were actually like rappers like you were hearing about. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
for the time, it's like that's what
A
I'm
lot.
at a
She
time where like,
influenced a lot of
yeah,
them. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
at the time it's like rapper, it was hard for like women to get into rap in general to be purely rapping, and she was like doing it.
Yep.
She had connections to Wayne and Drake, and really when Nicki Minaj, she was really popping before that because honestly, I
Right.
mentioned this before. She actually she had like the theme song for like a actual like WWE
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking
women's
about
wrestling.
Victoria,
Yeah,
right?
so her music was
Victoria.
like yup for Victoria. Yeah, her music was already getting marketed. She was already making money off her music. And WWE, a whole like wrestling, one of the
Right.
biggest wrestling companies in the world, using her song. So I definitely give Nicki Minaj her credit for sure. Yeah. And I will put Lauryn Hill and Missy Elliott along as like the top like three other like
Oh
you
yeah.
know
Now I
female
will
artists that
say
really like
it's like the
influence that I
generation.
personally know because I really don't listen up to me. I don't listen to as many like you know female artists though, but those are the ones I
Mm-hmm.
know in particular. For ones I heard, yeah, I can vibe to the music the most. They definitely did make that
Mhm.
impact.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong. Yeah, you can't hate.
Facts. I
Hmm.
think you're right though. I think you are right. I had to make that point about, you know, growing up in a generation that had, you know, other influenced
Mhm.
female rappers. And then
Hmm.
when Nicki came on the scene, she like basically blew up the scene and influenced. But I will agree with you. You did say something that I kind of had to differentiate the two. I feel like you are
Hmm.
right. I think my generation, I think the ones that are between the ages of 24 and up that does music, I think we were still touched by the heart, by the beginning stages of what hip hop was forming into.
Mhm.
And I think anybody under 24, 23, I think when you think of who they sound like when they start rapping, or who their attitude is like, or like, you know, in general, just like who really influenced, Nicki will be considered a legend to them. I'm not
Mhm.
going to say legend because she's a legend in general because what she's achieved. Let me backtrack. She
Mhm.
would be someone if they be like how we look at Aaliyah, not dead wise, but like how we look at Aaliyah or how we look at
Yeah, the
Missy
legacy,
Elliott.
the
Like
legacy.
Yo, like they the ghosts, you know, but
Mhm.
she already the GOAT, but she spoken into existence. We living to see her be the GOAT, but I'm saying like we watched her do it. You see what I'm saying? These kids are coming into the industry, into the rap industry, coming in knowing she did it. They didn't really understand what was going on because they were mimicking and paying attention to other things. They were being kids. So I can't wait to see what like this next generation of female rap is gonna look like, because it happened with Lil Kim, it happened with Missy Elliott, it definitely happened with Lil Kim, Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown.
It just happened.
That's a slept on
Foxy
name of
Brown,
that.
another one.
Foxy
Shout out to
Brown. Oh
my sister put
man.
me on the socks, Foxy Brown, because she used to
Mhm.
be blasting her, yeah. Because I had 3 sisters, yeah. So that's why I got hip to a lot of women,
But yeah,
female
I
artists in
was
general.
going to end
Yeah.
my list with Meg too because you see the impact Meg has had
Oh yeah.
in the game. Like she
And the
literally
current generation, yeah.
was literally has become a rising
I mean,
star.
if you think about it, she already got girls rapping like her.
Right,
She already,
already.
but I mean, like on some Houston shit though. Like
She's
if
definitely
you're
a
from
trendsetter.
Houston, but I put it like this: if you're from Houston and I know, like I can hear it and it's true to you, because I know sometimes people tell me I have like an attitude like her. I'm like, that's just how us Houston girls are. But you can tell whenever you can have a attitude because you're from the same area, and then you can tell whenever someone has this new and improved attitude. Like it's like it don't look natural on you. It's just like, you know, like you could tell when the influence happened. And it's kind of interesting to see a lot of these females be more aggressive, like they like how we grew up, basically how we grew up here in Houston. So it's nice to see them relate to us a little bit more, to understand that, you know, it's true what y'all hear about Texas girls. We are very rough. Like we
No,
are,
because honestly,
we're
like,
sweethearts. You know,
yeah,
we're
Megan Thee Stallion,
sweethearts.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I've
at
been
the
to one of her
same
concerts
time,
before. Yeah, she's cool.
you know, at the same time, we play harder than the dudes. It is it fuck your head up.
That's the truth.
And it's nice to see how these girlies are taking Megan onto Megan, because I love me some Megan. She speaks how, let me tell you something, when a bitch don't know how to say it, just play some Megan.
She's
If I
not
want to go
lying.
out tonight, I'm gonna play some Megan.
I was happy to have her to see her in concert because I went to Bowie State University and she pulled up there for like one of our spring
Oh yeah, she
homecoming.
did. She
And yeah,
did.
she
She
did.
did.
I
I
like
remember
got to
that.
see her in concert, and it was just a vibe. But like I got to see her like up close in person, and she was just like her music had the crowd rocking. This was back in 2019 when she was upcoming too.
Right.
Sold out venue. Yeah, she was doing her thing.
That's what's
Cool,
up.
down to earth person. That's why like I fuck with Megan, because like she seems so down to earth to the point where like security had to stop her from performing other songs because she was just like interacting with the crowd that much because you know her time was up. And I was like, you know what? I can tell Megan from 2 years ago, I can tell she was definitely going to be big, you know, music wise, because it seemed like she was just so humble, but so talented at the same time. It's like seeing her in person, because seeing like an artist perform the music in person is just so much different. And I'm just blessed to say I had the opportunity to actually like, you know, had the opportunities like being at Bowie to see all of these, you know, artists, especially like a female artist like Megan Thee Stallion, who's now like so big. I bet Bowie State probably couldn't afford her now, you know, in that. But it's like, yeah, you definitely made a point though, because I really got to see it up close in person, her upbringing, and like the fact that she's from, you know, Houston too, and like she definitely is like making like a big impact right now, like the rap scene. She's like a top 10 MC right now in the music wise. So yeah, good, like yeah.
And you know the thing that makes Meg so great, she's the type of artist where she does numbers. Like look what happened to Lapalooza this year. She literally had the entire crowd rocking, and I'm mistaken, this year's crowd was the largest crowd ever. Like we're talking
We're in a
like
pandemic. That's so
in the
crazy.
hundreds of thousands of people, and she had the whole
we're in a
joint
fucking
bumping.
Brought it out.
But we're in the pandemic though. But it is what it is.
And
But-
people don't care. Hey, look, that's how impactful she is, man. People
she definitely is gonna be safe. If she keeps up, you know, keep coming to music that people messing with, she definitely is gonna make an imprint in the game, and I'm proud to see that. So for sure. But yeah, Darian, go ahead.
Yeah, let's say let me get my top three out the way. So, of course, Nicki. It's not in a particular order, but it's Nicki, Missy, and Lauren Hill. So I think me and Mark have the same list.
Yeah.
However, I remember Raina, you brought up how like
I can put them in an order, but I can't leave one of them out, and it's more than three. Like I can't make a three list. It's just not. It's not easy for me.
And I was just about to say how you were saying how like the first like female rap project that you had was Trina. I remember
Trina,
when
I got in so much trouble for having that damn CD. Yes.
man, my dad.
Which one was it? Which one was it?
Diamond Princess. I had the actual CD.
Wow.
No, I had the actual one that had the diamond on there in the blue.
It shows
in the
everything.
blue embroidery.
Old school
Shows everything.
CDs.
And then the CD that the little silver part was shining through it. This girl gave it to me at school because I called myself liking music. She gave it to me at school. She was like, she can't keep it. And I was like, well, I'll take it. So I'm listening to it. My big sister wanted it from me. She goes and knocks on my mama's door. She asked me to borrow, and I was like, hell no, I'm not giving you my Trina CD. Like, no. She goes and knocks on my mama's door. Knocks on my mama's door. Told my mama I had a Trina CD. It was gone by the end of the day. I think I got that CD back by the end of the summer. I stole it back.
My dad. My mama used to cuss my father out because my dad used to have me listening to Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, NWA.
That's how it be though. That's how it used to be.
Hey, look, I'm a little ass kid, man. I love me some Eminem and Lil Wayne, but he also like the first like real like female rapper that I ever listened to was Lil Kim. I don't remember exactly what project it was, but I was like, damn, I didn't know women could rap like.
That's why I said Lil Kim, you can't leave her out because she was Lil Kim
she was a pioneer.
She was a pioneer. Lil Kim was one of the first one that made you just kind of switch like, damn, bitches can rap. I'm sorry, female empowerment. Women can rap.
No. Like you good.
It's all good. You good.
But see, for
women
me,
can rap.
Like when it came
she
to
was
like,
one of them.
But when it came to like female artists, like I didn't really come up like with like the rapper side. But like my mom used to have me listening to like Fantasia, and I love me some Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill. My dad loved Anita Baker. My mom listens to En Vogue and all these other
SWV.
Yes.
SWV, that's a good one. TLC.
Whitney.
Whitney. Dang, I think you said
Beyonce, Rihanna.
Beyonce. I was gonna say Beyonce next, but I'm still trying to figure. I'm missing somebody. SWV and dang, we missing somebody.
Dang, you gotta be thinking that it is hard to make a top three. Like
you got to honestly, it's more than anything.
Her being from Houston, I'm surprised it took her this long to mention Beyonce though.
Nah, I was letting y'all finish y'all list because I'm usually like Beyonce.
I was thinking more like rappers.
Right, just now, I was just like, I'm gonna wait for somebody else to say her.
Right. I didn't want to say it because that's Beyonce's kind of the cop out answer. It's like obvious. We know Beyonce is dope.
Escape. We didn't say Escape. That's why I'm sitting here like, how we gonna say it? That's why I didn't. But see, that's why I didn't move on from SWV and say Beyonce, because I'm like, man, hold on, you can't say SWV and I say, what's the other people? What's the other girl? Escape. You can't say one and not the other. That's rule number one. You can't bring up them and not bring up the smooth operator, Sade. You can't do that.
That's true.
You can't bring up them and not. Now, if you listen to soul, I'm gonna have to bring you to Betty White. If I'm a Texas baby, I'm soul. So, you know, we have the old school family get-togethers with the cars. And if you ain't heard My Very First Time by Betty White, you sleep. That song will have you having your drink up in the air doing the old man dance. I promise. That woman has a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna check that out because I am not hip. I am sleep. I'm gonna get woke.
You need to listen to some Betty White. Betty White. No Pain, No Gain. What? You got a few of them.
Goes to Apple Music.
Oh no, I'm gonna listen to it after the pod because I usually kind of get to it.
I have an old school list. If y'all get it with me later, I'm gonna give you. You know what? I'm gonna make a Spotify. And if I can find these songs, on Spotify, I'm gonna send y'all a playlist. Because I think some of these I can find on Spotify. I need to make an old school list
because that's what I do. Like definitely, I would look it up.
Oh no, definitely. I'm gonna do that because I always after the pod I really go into like a heavy music thing because when you're talking for like 2, 3, 4 hours, you need to kind of find a way to unwind and get your mind back together. But Now we're going to the next one. And Darren, when you put this on the list, bro, I was dying laughing. Drake versus Kanye versus
In a
battle.
versus. You know what? That
Yes.
would be a good one, honestly, because they both have a lot of hits. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
pop to. Like let's be
Mm-hmm.
real. I mean, personally, when it comes to a versus, that would be a really tight one. I
Yeah.
give the edge to. Okay, I give the edge to Kanye. You know, because Kanye, bro, he's done the stunt. Look, Kanye has issues. Let's be real. We're just talking about strictly music. Kanye, he's the done it all music wise.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like Kanye is just that
And you talk
artist.
about
And as we see recently,
production
yeah,
wise,
like
he's
production
unmatched.
wise,
He's
like
unmatched.
yeah, like and
Unmatched.
with his marketing too, like we see with this Donda album that's these people putting back. Bro, I heard that live listening. Like I heard it live. That album's gonna be great when it's fully mastered and everything. He's a
Mm-hmm.
marketing genius. Like Kanye in 2021, like he still found a way just like to stay in it, like stay in the headlines music wise, to keep his numbers up. I'm pretty sure he got a lot of like made some good money off that live listening stream on Apple Music. Cause I was tuning, yeah, like literally like social media trending. So I think Kanye would win in the versus battle. Me, if he was versus like against Drake, that'd be one of the craziest versus battles of all time. That would like break the internet. But I give it the edge to Kanye for sure. Because really, Kanye, what he helped pay, like he low key was helped out Drake a little bit. Like Drake gave Kanye his like credit. So Kanye's just done so much in the music industry. Of course, like Kanye's got influenced by other artists before, but the creation that Kanye has bought, I feel as though he just bought like a certain wave and like a certain kind of like genre as far as like production wise and beats with the 808s. He really like gave like a good introduction to the 808s
Kanye
as
is a
far as
legend.
yeah. Yeah, like he's really bought those 808s. So without Kanye, you wouldn't be hearing no 808s in music like that to me. To me personally, we definitely wouldn't be hearing a lot of 808s in music when it comes to the beats. So I give the verse like the edge to Kanye when it comes to a verses. Drake is definitely like up there though. It's very neck and
The
neck, really,
verses,
because
it's in a versus battle. Those two were so close. It's actually ridiculous. Like
Kanye's more creative
you,
than Drake to me. He can do more to me.
yeah,
Like,
like that
yeah.
like Drake. That I'm sorry. Kanye has the when it comes to the composing, the producing, and pure
Mm-hmm.
execution, he is much more versatile. But the thing with Drake though, that people don't give him credit, Drake is also a genius because he magnifies his strength. Drake is the type of person where you can tell him not even just the music, just the way he acts. He doesn't mind showing his weaknesses, showing that he's not good at certain things. But he definitely uses his strengths and stretches them to such a degree as ridiculous. Like that's why he has so many hits because he knows what's gonna pop on the chart. He
Right.
knows, okay, like we were talking about earlier, when you tap into the pop field, pop is bigger than a lot of people think because pop is an international like super thing. Like once you
And it
get
can
into that
blend with so
space,
many things
you
too.
can
Yeah.
literally blow up just like that. And Drake always finds a way, no matter what. I give Drake this: he knows how to change his flow. He knows how to switch it because
High Life
Drake
Bling was a
has
perfect example.
evolved.
He
Like the
went
way
full
we've
pop
seen
on that.
Drake evolve from his time starting in the game up to now, he's gone through different metamorphoses. He's gone through maybe like 4 different metamorphoses during his time as an artist, and each time he tapped into it and he made a smooth transition. Like a lot of artists when they start making metamorphoses, you kind of start to see it, and you see the music quality start to slightly decline as he's making the metamorphosis. But Drake, that was never a thing.
Always kept that
He
quality.
always
Always
kept the
kept the good
quality. He
quality.
always kept the quality. Always kept the great content. He always was consistent in that. So that has
Even when
to be
people was
taken
calling him
into
a culture
account.
vulture, he was still keeping
Right.
good quality regardless. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
call him a culture vulture, but yet to me, I see as an artist as somebody embracing other cultures like Afro beats and
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
Caribbean beats and just making it sound good and embracing the culture.
Drake
It's not
never
making it a culture
shunned
vulture. Artists are
going out
banging
the
with him,
field.
and he's just knowing how to like make the music and adapting the cultures. If anything, you should be happy because he's putting like the cultures on and like Afro beats and you like Caribbean music, and we're seeing that more and more. So you really should be giving like shouting out Drake for really putting like that kind of music, mixing it into hip hop and rap, which has always been. But of course, he just made it more popular because he's using his platform to really make it popular. And yeah, like that's one thing I do get Drake credit for. He definitely can adapt to different cultures more than like I think more than Kanye.
Yeah,
He can
Drake
really adapt to different cultures
embraces different
and make it
styles of
sound good.
music better than Kanye. And he could kind of
Mm-hmm.
mix match and hop on a joint with a completely different artist than he's normally around and make it a good song. So that has to be kind of matter.
Yeah,
I
I give
honestly
him that.
can't pick up. It's a coin flip for me because the versus battle, there's certain things that go on in a versus battle that's like it's more than just like skill, quality music. It's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. And also you gotta think about it. Kanye is a moody motherfucker. You gotta think about that. That shit matters. Like you don't want him come if he comes in and he start doing too much. He's not winning. I'm sorry, like he's not gonna win. Like if
I
he
guess
comes
as a
in
Gemini, I can relate.
and he's doing
know?
his ultra antics, but he's not winning. He's going to lose because Drake. You know what happened? Drake is gonna come in there. He's gonna be confident. He's gonna be cool. He's gonna do his thing. He's not gonna be thrown off. That's the thing with Drake.
Yeah,
That
Kanye, he can get thrown off. You
he
know,
can
he's
get
a
thrown off. Kanye
Gemini,
can
so
get thrown off.
you gotta expect
Drake,
it.
you
I can speak from that.
anytime you seen Drake perform, you hardly see him get knocked off his game. Like he has this
Kanye just puts so much into it.
What
Like
you call it? Where's that word? Where's that word? There's a word for it. He has like that calmness to him. Like Drake, you never see him when he's performing. He's out of his game. He's usually on it, 10 toes down, head locked in, doing his thing. Kanye could be thrown off his game.
Kanye definitely has
Kanye have multiple outbursts.
You know, he gets anxious. Yeah, like temper tantrums. It happens. You know, because he's so passionate. He's so good.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like
Kanye's a perfectionist. That's the thing about him. He wants to be so perfect at what he does. When you're like a perfectionist like that, you're going to tend to see that. When it sounds good, what sounds good to us, if he like fucks up, we may not. He's going to realize it, and it's just going to throw off the whole performance. We might not even realize he fucked up, but it's just like, yeah, he's just going to like go off because like he's not giving out what he wants. He just wants to give the best of the best. I understand
Kanye
that
sometimes is his own worst enemy.
Something we can't understand. Yeah, you know, yeah, he can be his own worst enemy. We've definitely seen that.
Right. Like, what's your opinion on that versus?
I still give it to Kanye though.
All right. So I got the topic because I was in a group chat, and my man's Rudy. Shout out Rudy.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
He put it in the one y'all.
That wasn't even Rudy. That was Kiki. That was Kiki that started.
Group chat.
He put it another.
Yeah, it was Kiki that started.
I left that main.
Yeah. You left that one. Yeah, it was Kiki.
I'm out that one too.
Yeah. You guys, none of you were in there. It's Kiki that started it, and then Rudy took it and put it in the other group chat.
Yeah. Well, it was Kiki.
Kiki.
Well, anyways, it was put in a group chat, and
shout out to Kiki though. Yeah.
At first I had said that I got Kanye winning. But now I done changed my mind. I think Drake will win.
Champagne Pape.
I think.
I'm not mad at either answer.
Yeah, it's so close that honestly, bro, either one of them can win.
I don't know.
They both perspective have their hits. They both perspective have their hits.
Bro.
Do y'all want to know my answer? Or are we gonna wait?
Oh, I'm down.
We're definitely.
It sounds like you got something you about to bake. You about to cook something. Let's see what you got. I'm ready.
I'm a huge Drake fan.
Oh,
okay.
Wait, because I remember when Kanye dropped 808 Heartbreaks. And you got to remember that we're at the age that we saw hip hop right in the middle towards what it is now, like what it was becoming and what it is now. We didn't see the groundbreaking, but we did see when it started to impact the world. We was right there when it started to impact the world. From late at night tip drill videos and so on. Shit that they not gonna get away with nowadays unless it was on OnlyFans. We seen that on our TV. We seen that on our TV. Shit,
that lock content, you already know.
I
know damn well everybody remember that infamous credit card booty cheek slide. But what I'm saying is that we watched impact grow. So my answer to this question is you're asking a versus. I don't know why people do this, but you're asking a versus from a group of people that understand that Kanye is a legend. And they understand that Drake had a microphone. I think it was a microphone. It was something of Kanye's. He had something signed by Kanye. Let me Google it.
Oh, bringing up the receipts. I like that. It sounds like you're leaning towards Kanye. I don't know the full answer, but it sounds like you're leaning towards Kanye.
Don't spoil it. She on the way.
No, okay, I'm pause. That was an autographed Pusha T microphone, which I'm not gonna get on that because all respects to the sixth God. Respect. Oh yeah. There was something with Drake and Kanye that happened that was very significant to like having, a fandom of him. And I can't think of it off, and I'm not going to go through all these blogs.
He brought it up in the song. I know what you're talking about.
He brought it up in the song, right? I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But you can't, and just like from the history of it all, this is a guy that influenced Drake, whether everything is all said and done. So I mean, you're asking what's the versus between the influencer and the one that learned from the influencer and created his own thing. So what I'm gonna say is ask me that question after the drop of Donda and Certified Lover Boy, so I can see how their not so close relationship has affected them over the years, because people, it's like having a Future and Drake tape. You can't ask who is a better artist because they work so much together.
And it's so cool. Yeah.
And it's like
So
their style is so rhythmatic towards one another that it's like, damn, I mean, if I was to play a Future song, I can hear a Drake verse on it. If I was to play a Drake song, I can hear a Future
like same
verse,
vibe.
or at least some ad libs back there. So you have to understand that a lot of songs you're talking about forever. Like you're thinking, when you're thinking of these classic songs that you're
like
judging
Kanye,
each other
Eminem,
on,
Lil Wayne
y'all do know that they were on those songs together, right?
Yup, Kanye and Drake. Yup.
So it's
That's one
kind
of
of
the first.
like,
That's true.
it's kind of like you asking me that question, and I love hip hop. I fucking love hip hop. But when you ask me this question, I'm like, okay, who is a legend in a versus battle between Drake and Kanye? And then I say to myself, Drake has really good singles. Kanye has really good singles, but the songs that we say are classics, they were featured together. And then ask yourself this before you say one is better than the other. Ask yourself, if you took Drake's verse off of Forever, who owns the song Forever, by the way?
Drake.
Okay. Take Drake off of his song Forever, and would you still feel the same vibe from that song featuring Kanye and all these other artists? Okay, now do this. Take a song with Drake and Kanye and take Kanye's verse off of it. Would you still feel like that song is good without Kanye and just Drake? That's how I look at it. Because at the end of the day, these are two men that influenced hip hop at two different times. Kanye influenced hip hop before Drake came into the picture. And when Drake came in the picture, Drake influenced hip hop. So you have a time period, so you can basically, what was going on, I put it like this, break it down to what was going on in Kanye's time period and what's going on in Drake's time period, which we are currently in right now. You see what I'm saying? What do you remember significant happening when Kanye was on his shit? And what do you remember significantly happening while Drake is on his shit? Besides all the rumors, besides all the beef and the bullshit, what songs do you remember turning on the radio and being like, motherfucker, I better hear a motherfucking Drake song today, or I better hear a Kanye song today? Like, I remember nobody was gonna have a good day without hearing "In the Night They Hear Me Call."
That was my shit. They had a waste of heartbreak. That was one of my favorite
songs. That song is a trailblazer.
Heartless. What?
No cursing in that song too. That's the amazing thing. Like, no cursing.
But then here's the thing though. You hear "Heartless" and you're like, damn, would I want to have lived my life without hearing that song? No. I don't want to. That's like that Kid Cudi "Day and Night." I have to have those songs. I have to have those songs in my playlist. But when I think of Kid Cudi "Day and Night," I feel like that was influenced by Kanye. I'm on the call. I feel like that was influenced by Kanye in a way. So then you have those. So then you have to move on towards the Drake situation, and then you got to be like, what songs do I need to hear on the radio that's Drake? Started from the bottom. Best I ever had. For girls, it gotta be Kiki, Do You Love Me? Are You Riding? That one, because you gotta turn up. It gotta be that one. And then if you want to think of something newer, I could say one that everybody is kind of sleeping on that he kind of spit was either Lemon Pepper Wings or
that was the most recent one. His most recent EP.
Right.
Yep.
But whenever I'm saying, like, though, you got the Kanye Heartless, and then you Hotline Bling, like the Hotline Bling.
That's why I was mentioning that earlier, because that's like what you want a recent thing.
Hotline Bling era was crazy because it was everywhere. You tell me,
it's like pop, you know.
Like, it was everywhere. You didn't even have to know English to sing Hotline Bling.
Like that pop song.
You just knew what the fucking we was talking about. You
You
didn't.
That's why
damn
we.
right. What we talking about?
Let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say, look, my boy came just in time. Like when
Hey,
you was
yo.
talking, I was like, he came
The
just in
man,
time,
yo.
bro. And I know he got energy because bro. But yeah, it's my bad to
Yeah,
cut
because
you
I'm
off.
doing
But
this
yeah.
like while I'm packing. Like I'm going to St. Louis, my cousin's wedding, like tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Oh, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy man,
Somebody-
busy
yeah.
man, busy man.
Hey man,
Right.
I made time for y'all though.
Hey,
I
appreciate
made
you,
time for
brother.
everybody.
Of course,
Appreciate
you gotta
Hey,
have
how
it all.
was seeing the ass of baseball, bro?
I really seen the ass of base. He almost went deep too. He almost got one.
It's Toronto though.
But anyway,
I hate to say it.
my
It's
my, my,
Toronto.
my guy,
My
my
bad.
brother.
Yeah, if you want, wait. I did.
Yeah,
leave
I'm gonna
this
let you
out.
finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
I will say this: me as an artist, if
Mhm.
I ever had the opportunity to choose who I wanted to work with to make sure I got the best longevity of my album and to make sure that I merged in the best way, it depends on numerous things. But if I wanted to go with like some pop, or if I wanted to go with something that was more pop, like everybody influence, like a kid could listen to it. You could play this at a party, you could play this
Drake.
at a dinner party.
Yeah,
That's true.
Very soundtrack. I would go with Drake.
Drake.
But if
Yeah.
I want something that's true to my soul, if I want something that I'm spitting facts and talking down, just down on the world around me, or if I want to speak up and
Just
then
let it out.
uplift me, or just like vent, it's gonna be Kanye. But don't
Kanye,
get me
yup.
wrong, Drake can do it too. But I want a more Kanye gives this very sad but honest and peaceful vibe to music. Like if I get on the
You can
Drake
feel his
track,
emotion in his music.
he's emotional, but see, Drake is too, and it's kind of hard because it battles
Kanye
back
feels
and
more raw.
forth. It battles back
Kanye
and
got a
forth.
whole bunch of provisos, if we being
Cause
honest.
like he really be going through.
Because it's like, bro, 808s and Heartbreak and College
Okay.
Dropout do not have the same vibe, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that might offend some Drake fans. I'm gonna just say it, but I'm a huge Drake fan, so y'all don't attack me.
I was just in a stadium with a whole people from Toronto. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say. He said I was in the stadium. Where you at?
You just
He was
came
at that
from
Nats and
Oh
Nats
my
and
God.
Oh,
Blue
Just came from a
Jays
Nats
game.
game.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
Washington,
in
Washington,
Blue
Washington.
Jays.
Nats
Toronto in
game.
town.
Go ahead.
So,
Oh,
a
you're in
bunch
Washington.
of
We-
Yeah,
That's
we in
why you
DC.
thought you were just in
A bunch
a
of Canadians,
stadium with a
in
whole bunch
town.
of Canadians and stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta really watch what I say, and hopefully you don't
No.
broadcast
You
this to
you
no
got
Canadians
you cool.
around you.
You cool. Trust me.
Are
Ain't
you by
nobody around
yourself
me.
now?
I'm at my house.
Look, we
I'm
can't
at my
have
house.
this
Go ahead.
conversation if you was out
Go
there.
ahead. I'm at my
Okay.
house.
Excuse me
Canadians
when I
here.
say this, but if I wanted a song that would be taken more seriously when it came to more heartfelt topics and more soulful topics, I would feature Kanye. And it has nothing to do against Drake not being emotional enough or real enough or anything, because he is a real guy. He's, from what I've heard, he's been nothing but honest besides the other shit that he may have done. But the last few years, he's been kind of cool. But I will say that more people are gonna hear it and be like, oh, Drake is just cultural. They're gonna say more negative towards the performance of him. But if I wanted a song that focused on what the topic was about and for people to take it more serious without all the backlash of the artist, it would have to be Kanye.
Kanye for sure. Because
I
like to
can
me,
respect
Kanye
that.
does
That's
sound
true.
more raw, emotional.
I
He
must
has
respect
a
that.
more
Let it out.
mature,
Yeah.
a more mature reputation.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, I feel as though Kanye, he's just his demeanor is just made for that music wise, and his demeanor is just like it's more natural than Drake. Yeah, if you really want to like tell a story, like testify on a song, really let it out through art.
Yeah,
and
man.
everything.
It's
Like I feel as though
like
it'd be Kanye, he
right.
can really like bring out that creative side to you.
Yeah, it's just like
I
every
feel as though,
artist
yeah, I
has
agree.
that gimmick. Like they have
Right.
their gimmick. Like in my opinion, just breaking it down. Every artist has two gimmicks. They have their major one and then their lesser one. You basically just broke it down how Kanye's gimmick is more of a serious, more darker, but yet more realer type of
No,
style.
hold on now. He got a song I like with fuck. He said, I'm a sick fuck. I like to get fucked. I'm a sick fuck.
Oh, I
I
know
like
exactly
Oh,
what
you
you're
talking
talking
about
about.
Lil
the song
Pump?
I'm
You
talking
talking
about?
about
Lil Pump, Lil
Lil
Pump,
Yeah,
Lil
Pump,
that's
Pump,
Lil.
Lil
Lil
Pump,
Pump, Lil
Yeah,
yeah.
this
Pump.
little
He
fun
still
song he
does
has.
bullshit like
This
that
one
too.
is
But
Right,
see,
of
fun songs.
course.
Yeah,
but when he
I
do
like that.
bullshit like that, I like that song. It's so weird, right?
Sounds
But when
good
he does
though. Like
bullshit
it's
like that, it makes you
Catchy as
kind of
shit.
look at him like, bro, you know you can do better than this. But
you can
see,
switch it up.
If Drake did that like he did fuck for free, we was jamming. We ain't question it because it was Drake that did that.
You
Right.
But when Kanye did it, we were like, okay, this is like Kanye for real. We take you a little bit more serious.
Sure. Yeah,
So
every artist has their major gimmick.
It's like
And the
really
major
Kanye really
gimmick is
say that.
what
This is like really
when I mean
Kanye
major
say what
gimmick,
you
it's
talking
the
about.
vibe that transcends the most to the listener. Like the one they can catch it, but they're like, okay, I can feel this. So I definitely do agree with what you said because Kanye, like I said, he has that more serious overtone, and Drake is kind of lighthearted. You know, Drake is they call him culture vulture. He's the one that if you get that song, it's gonna be popping. Everybody gonna be
And it's
jumping
the only
around,
controversy,
messing
like
with
the
it.
bad thing you can say about Drake is like he was a culture vulture, but other than that, it's not really much bad you can say
really
about
don't
Drake
think he
music
was a
wise.
culture. See, this
Bro,
is
and
what
honestly, that's the
y'all
only controversial thing you can say is a culture vulture in a
you
ghostwriting
can't
game.
She's
say
like,
that
Like,
to a Drake
yeah, it's
fan.
like that's the only
No,
She's
and
like,
I'm past
no,
that.
I'm not
Yeah,
accepting
no,
it.
I want to argue. I want to argue. I want to
yeah.
argue.
Because
And I'm
really, I
putting
think that's
this
a
on.
petty argument.
It's no, I am
Honestly,
so putting this on
no,
my page. God forgive me. I'm such okay. Look, boom. So we're gonna put it like this. I
you
feel
can
like
find
some
ways to hit
people
on
take
Drake.
it. I feel like y'all are too hard on him when y'all call him a culture vulture. Say he was influenced. Don't say he was a culture vulture because I can
It's
name
better
so many.
words, you know.
I can
Yeah.
name so many artists right now that's not from Atlanta and sound like Atlanta, but y'all not gonna call them no culture vultures. Y'all are gonna say the industry merged and Atlanta sound got bigger and started influencing other artists. Let's be correct here. Drake's father is from Memphis. Memphis rap is heavy. Memphis rap sounds like some stuff that I would have played from Pastor Troy. And then you got your Atlanta artists that sound like Memphis artists. Look at Young Dolph. I feel like y'all are underestimating his blackness when
It's
it
so funny you
comes to
say
his
that
music. Like he's not culture vulture because you have to understand too. Drake was signed by some Southern niggas, Lil
That's
Wayne
true.
and them.
That's
And
true.
you have to understand
That's
that
true.
they
That some people
signed
don't
him because
take that.
they signed
Yeah.
him because of how he sound right then and there. They didn't sign him because they said, we're going to take you in the studio and teach you how to sound like a South nigga. No, his daddy is from the South, I think. Yeah. Memphis.
From
Yeah, his
Memphis.
dad is from
His
Memphis.
dad is
Yeah,
from Memphis.
yeah,
His dad's from Memphis.
yeah. So with that being said, you don't know who he was raised around. He got
black in him,
cousins.
of course.
Right,
He got
exactly.
cousins.
Everybody
he got
got family.
uncles.
Everybody
he
got other
aunties.
stuff.
You know
Uncles.
what I'm saying? For people to say that he's culture vulture, and I'm from Houston, and I don't really care how any of you motherfucker will feel about me saying this because you can't tell me I'm fraud because I'm from Houston. I can say I can see where he's influenced by Houston, but you have to understand when Katrina happened, so many people came from Louisiana and listen. You got bitches like me that have mixed up accents because the culture had merged, but never mind that. My family is from Louisiana, so really and truly, it was gonna happen to me anyway.
Right.
But with Drake, he was signed by people that were affected by that time frame. So he spent time with these people. Not only that, he spent time in Houston because he spent a lot. There's people that can vouch for him spending so much time because he was discovered by some Houston motherfuckers. Now you're moving on. He got Memphis from his roots, his family. How do y'all know this man was raised in Canada all his life? Y'all cannot sit here and call him a culture vulture and not consider where he's from and his blood. Like you can't tell me I can tell you I'm Creole, but you can't tell me my accent is fake because I'm Creole and I didn't grow up in Louisiana. Motherfucker, you know my people have accent around me, and that's why I speak the way I do. But with him, you know, you can feel like you can say he's culture vulture, but y'all don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Anyway,
you good, man. You good.
You can feel like he's culture vulture, and that's true to an extent because everybody does it. It's you do it unintentionally, intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came out with their first slab in Houston, and everybody got a slab. Nigga, we culture vulture someone who did it them fucking selves. We copied them and made it into a culture so we can all do it and not be talked shit about. That's the truth. But let me run through that to say this.
Hey, let me throw 2 words on here real quick. Let me throw
Go
2
ahead.
words on here.
Throw your 2 cents, my guy.
Isley Brothers. You see how many songs have them sampled? Like
Yes.
Isley Brothers are basically a culture in themselves at this point.
Literally.
Oh yeah,
Literally.
at this point. But see, that's what people are failing to realize. Copying is going to eventually be called culture. Somebody did something and everybody liked it, and then everybody started
I
doing
think
it.
it already is kind of culture already, if you really want to be
Right, but
honest.
The
see,
vulture aspect just adds negative to it. We should take away the vulture because that just means like you're just like you're
he's
stealing, but
not a
that's
vulture.
what vultures do.
He's not
Yeah,
Right.
a
yeah.
I
It
don't
should
think
say
Drake
better.
is a
vulture.
vulture at all. I
Yeah,
don't even
like
Y'all
think
gotta
that.
it's
stop
like
calling
taking
Drake a
and claiming
culture
it.
vulture. He is a product of his culture.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
I'm saying louder for the
Hey, I've
motherfucking
been
people
stopped
in
that,
the
but it's
back.
like
Do
people.
not
Yeah,
disrespect me and say Drake is a culture vulture. That man is the artist of the motherfucking decade for a fucking reason. I'll stand down. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this.
since
I'm
09,
gonna
for
say
real,
this.
12
I'm gonna
years.
say
Yeah.
this. Saying someone is a culture vulture, but saying the next artist is just how their background is not fair to Drake. You have to give him the respect of saying that is his culture. That is what he grew up around. He had the means to travel and see the world more than we did. If you feel like that's culture vulture, I'm gonna say you minimize your way of being, because if you grew up in Florida and you from Texas and somebody say, "Oh, you talk like you from Florida," you're gonna get mad and be like, "Nah, I'm from Texas." But the culture influenced you that way. You cannot call that man a vulture. This is his
Yeah, and
culture.
honestly,
He's
in the main point,
influencing the same culture. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, the main people I was
Hold on,
saying
hold on.
like
Mark
really
go
that,
first, and then you go
yeah.
after him. Evan.
Yeah,
Darian,
just the point about the
Darian, you
culture
go
vulture
after him.
part, calling him that. The main time when he first got called that, I noticed when he really kind of like switched it up to like the Afrobeats Caribbean style in 2016. That's when I really saw people,
But that's still not
get
culture
offended by
vulture.
that.
Have you ever been to Canada?
Like African to Caribbean,
and
which I
I feel like I
understand,
know.
like, but yeah, I was just like, I see where they're coming from. But really, I think it was just like being influenced by it. We just started
He's
seeing like
influenced.
Afrobeats and like and Caribbean music get influence into the Western,
right?
Like America, the States. Which like he just made it popular, but that kind of music has been like popular for so long. And the artists and reggae artists, like when he started getting to the reggae thing, that's when he really started to get controversial that with the reggae, because that's been big, and he really just made it more popular. But I guess people are saying, "Oh, you just hopping onto the reggae flow. Oh, you're not an actual reggae artist. How come you're trying to steal our sound?" It's just like at the end of the day, it's music. He should be happy. Somebody as big as Drake is really like trying to get into like your culture, like get into that music and bring that style more popular. Because ever since then, it's just like getting more people hip to different styles of music. It's not about him vulture.
Right. He's pioneering,
and we appreciate
what people
that
don't
kind of
realize.
culture,
what people are saying that he's culture vulturing. Excuse me, how I say it's culture vulture. God damn.
That is a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
He's not culture vulture. He's pioneering. It's a huge misconception. But another thing I want to point out too, you said something about the Afrobeat and Caribbean music and the Jamaican music that he's been doing lately. Canada is just like Houston. Canada is a melting pot of Caribbean ancestry. I have family. I have family in Canada that are Jamaican. They have accents like Drake, and when people started saying Drake's accent is fake, I'll say, like with me, I could turn mine on and off because of my family. You see what I'm saying? He may have grew up in a neighborhood full of Caribbeans. He may have grew up around Caribbeans and took on the dialect, because let's be clear. Caribbean music is sung in a dialect. It's not a language. It's still English. It's just with a heavy accent. They call it a dialect. So he picked up this dialect. He picked up this accent, and he started rapping and singing in it. As long as he ain't doing it wrong, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people can't say they really know a Jamaican or a Haitian.
Unless you are from there, then you know.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're actually like from there, right? Unless you,
Now, if he just come out of nowhere and say he Jamaican, now if Drake say he Jamaican, I'm not gonna.
That's different. That's different claiming a whole ethnicity.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, like
now then I'm gonna say you lying, my nigga. You
slow down, buddy. Yeah.
But he didn't say he's Jewish.
Yeah, go sit down, Aubrey.
Go
sit down, Aubrey.
Now if he just
I mean, we all know he's Jewish, though. Yeah, that's a fact, though. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to like not.
He's definitely Jewish. Yeah, he wasn't lying about that. Yeah, we all know he's
fuck
definitely.
With your music.
Hey, this one was fire though.
But yeah, Evan, when you came in, we were on the question of the Drake versus Kanye versus. We all said our standpoints, and it was some really, really strong, good standpoints. It was like a building fight. It was like, oh, this, okay. So, who you think would win in the verses and why? Or if you can't pick a winner, if it's something that's gonna be
All
something
right.
down the middle, explain your
Yeah, who would you pick
So
basically?
my take might be basic. My take not base. Sorry, it might be basic. And at the risk of getting laid out here on this podcast, I'm gonna say Kanye wins because he
Smart
has more
choice.
depth to his content.
It's simple, man. No, he is a bit influencer. Like Kanye,
No, that's a good point.
About Kanye,
And it's,
you
and
really
it's like
want to hear
I
about
say that
people
because
like
I realize we got someone on here that know way more about music than I do because she an artist.
I have to agree with you though, but if you did play a Drake versus Kanye, I would have to go with Kanye. And the reason why I'm saying I would choose Kanye is because Drake has not reached his, I want to say, what is the, I feel like Drake hasn't released his best work. I feel like his work, everything that he's done up to this point has been what he's proud of. I can't wait to see what he does when he's like, okay, I made everybody else happy. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. I can't wait to see Drake's
I can't wait to hear
selfish
something about Loverboy. Yeah, like his new
That's
album.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm waiting on. Like everything he's done before, that was to make everybody happy. That was to make him the best. That was to make him who he is now. His best work is what he is going to be putting out, I hope, for the next few years, because you have to realize something. Kanye has been doing what Kanye wants to do for the last few years.
Yeah.
So that versus is going to be Kanye's true music to him versus Drake's commercial music. You can't do that. You can't do that. Give Drake some more time to build his catalog.
That's very true. I agree with that. But
Like that.
before we get into the question and answer portion of the podcast, do you guys have anything left to say?
No, that we done hit that.
Yeah, that was a great one. I love that one. That was
the Yankees
that was
on
awesome.
my TV right now. Shout out to the legendary Jeter. That was
Yeah.
but just the Yankees.
Hold.
I knew nobody was gonna let him slide. I was just like,
no. And they're playing the Red Sox.
You are not about to come on this podcast. You are not about to come on this podcast, and we just had to talk about music. And you want to sit here and talk about the fucking Yankees?
When I attacked the Cowboys,
we were having a good
where'd you put my trucker hat?
Raina, Evan,
where'd you put my trucker hat, Earl?
We were having a good show. He didn't say nothing to antagonize me until right now. He always does this.
I knew you were watching the game, bro.
I was not watching the game for a reason.
Oh my god, Evan, like you said, where's my trucker hat?
By the way, Darian, y'all welcome for what we did to the Blue Jays. Y'all welcome for that.
Also, Evan, you deserve jail time for what you decided you was gonna call the Washington football team.
The Washington what?
Are you talking about the
Washington what?
I was crying.
No. That nigga said, I'm gonna call him the Washington Glizzies. Get out of here.
Say the name. Say it. Say the name, damn it.
I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to repeat that, bro.
Say the name, bro. If none of y'all say it, I'm gonna say it. All right, y'all ready for this? Here it go. The Washington Glizzies.
Oh my god,
I'm
weak, bro.
I'm not about to play with you.
Thank you.
So you hip about it with the DMV.
All right.
Look, I had to sit here and think about it.
Look, it's a DMV thing.
Oh my god. So
I'm gonna blame it on the DMV.
Oh my lord. I'm going to start off with the first question. So talk about your creative process as an artist, and did you have any self-doubts along the way? And if you did, how did you overcome it? Like, how did you overcome that mental block?
That's a good one.
My blogs, I plan everything out on a table of contents. First and foremost, yes. You see, I hit that content. So
I love the cadence race of content. It's a real
it's a real motherfucking table, you know. But honestly, to be honest with you, I'm a goofball. Like when I get a mental block, I just kind of like go fuck with somebody else until it comes to me. Like I just piss other people. Like I ain't gonna say piss people off, because like my friends love me and I love my friends. But like if I have a mental block, I'm gonna go find some food. I'm gonna go find like something creative to do, because I'm an artist. I paint, I do hair, I do graphic work. I kind of just like switch it up. Like I'll go do something else or play a game. I used to make 3D content for The Sims. Like I'll just do something that'll kind of like make me Thank you. I make me like kind of like make me express myself a little bit more because like usually mental blocks just mean it's not meant to happen right then and there. I feel like that's just God's way of protecting me from doing something dumb or messing something up.
It's like slow down and get ahead, kind of sort of like sometimes like slow down and get ahead. Honestly,
like,
yeah,
before
like,
you burn yourself out.
Yeah, like that's what my manager on my job told me. Like sometimes you have to like just slow down, don't go too fast, don't be too hasty. Even my own mother told me that. It's like to get ahead, it's like pause for a second. It's like like really analyze what you're doing, like look at what you're doing. Okay, just like relax, take a breather, and then that's how you like get going. Get things flowing right. Yeah.
Yeah. In my daily devotional I did today, I did talk about how sometimes God puts you in a situation where it seems like there's no way out. You seem like you've reached your end of the rope. When really it's kind of saying, listen, you've been looking this way, but sometimes you got to turn around and see that there's other ways to do it, and that everything is not one track mind. Because a lot of times we can be very one track mind, especially if we 10 toes in, head down. We looking like, listen, tunnel vision, straight like that. We're not really looking at what's around us and even the people around us that can help and guide us. Say, listen, man, you've been doing it this way, but how about you do it this way? I know you've been struggling trying to overcome this situation, but this advice could really help you. So I definitely do agree with that. That sometimes mental blocks should be like, listen, it's not meant to be. Slow down, take a chill pill, go focus on something else. The inspiration will come back. That juice will come back. So I do fully believe that. I agree with you with that.
Good.
All right. So it's a very basic question. So what led you to like want to be an artist? Like what influenced you? Like what made you want to become an artist?
Um, to be honest with you, when I was younger, I was asked what did I want. I always wanted a piano. I always wanted a guitar. When it came down to the electronic era, because I was born in the early 90s, so I saw computers when they had black and blue screens. I was the kid that I learned how to encode a computer on the old school computer, which people don't realize the coding system that we learned growing up is the same coding system they use now. It's just with graphics. I know how to go into a computer and internally shut it down if it fucks up. I don't have to call Geek Squad to get my computer. And that's because I watched my mom go to school to build computers. I think my first thing I did though was learn how to record on a computer before it was like actually the thing to do. Music, it just was around me. My mom was in a girl group singing. My grandfather was in a group. My cousins, all my boy cousins used to rap. They used to freestyle and they would freestyle each other. And if you lost, they would beat you up.
Oh
like,
damn! You had them ciphers. You had them ciphers. You had them ciphers.
That's how I
Oh
learned how to
lord!
freestyle. Like I
Yikes.
learned, and I was like, it was like it was like 3 girls and nothing but boys. So it's like I want to go do what the boys do. I learned how to freestyle. I got laughed at. I got love taps, but
build you up. Honestly, stuff like that. Like
a few of them actually whooped my ass. Now don't get me wrong.
Shit.
There were days I didn't even want to rap with them because I felt like they were gonna beat my ass regardless. Because nobody wanted to say I beat them. I think I was the coldest one in the room. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
But
like a jealousy
uber
thing.
confident.
Nobody else like a jealousy thing. It seemed like
I just think like if me and my cousin did a freestyle battle today, he would still win, but I would still put up a good
Put up a little fight, hit him with a few strong punches, he'll be like,
yeah.
ooh, okay.
But when he start rapping fast like he Twister, I ain't got time for him.
Twister. Comparing him to Twister, that's different.
That's what I'm saying. Like you said, Twister's
the vibe.
No, he got one of them motherfuckers like when you freestyle, you think you did good. And as soon as that fool start rapping, you like, okay, little dude, I see it. Then he start getting to the build up. You like, man, get the fuck out of here. Why don't you rap still? Clearly he won. Like, get him the fuck out the room. Like, I don't even want to battle him no more. But yeah,
just keep going. Yeah,
I was around it too much to not want to do it. It was inevitable. And then on top of that, like I was just around it. It just had
something you grew up to. I'm gonna keep my okay. I got a question. So, as an artist, like every music artist is different with how they create. So, is there like a goal? It's like on average, how many songs? Is it like a certain amount of songs you try to record like during the per day on average, or you just go on just whatever you just create what you can create at the time to get your best content.
Okay, I have to go soon, so I'm gonna answer this and one more. Not saying like I'm just, Anyway, thank y'all for having me.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course.
I will say this: I'm going through P. What is it called when you don't get paid for it, but you have to be there? Or are they gonna pick somebody else? An intern? I'm doing an internship.
Internship.
I'm doing an internship with a label that I cannot stay for non-disclosure reasons.
Gotcha,
but
of course.
I will say this: working with these people, working with an actual label that's known, is so fucking exciting because I get to learn techniques and learn things that I thought I didn't need and that was shown to me. And it's like, damn, I actually needed to know how to do this before I get signed because they weren't gonna sign me if I did it. But I'm interning to learn how to, I didn't already, honestly, they already certified me. They already certified me to do my own projects and to work with other artists, but I do mix and master. I will say this though, lately my producer does about 20 to 30 beats a day. He does over 200 beats a week. I'll say I've been mixing maybe 3 to 4 songs a day. If I record something, I line my beats up and I record like that. Like I probably knock out 3 songs, but I'll say if you put me on a week question, like how many a week, I'll say I can probably record 3 new fresh songs, but I could probably finish 4 songs and then go to the next week and continue that pattern. But then again, as an artist who didn't know how to mix before, I recorded so much that my hard drive has so much music. And now that I know how to mix correctly to a radio standard, it's like, I don't know the answer to that right now because I haven't had the time to really just go back and plug up one of my old computers in this computer. I have a new one now because I know better how to mix. So I had to go buy or better, the best computer I can find. So with me doing all these changes in my career, man, honestly, knowing what I know now, you should at least spend 2 days mixing, 3 days listening, 2 days mixing again, and then you master. It's crazy, right? You're not supposed to mix and master in the same day. You're not supposed to because you're not going to hear your flaws.
And that's the issue of a lot of new artists today. While we're hearing the quality of music just going downhill, these artists just try to push out music too fast. Like, because I hear some artists in interviews talking about how they make like so many songs in a day. I'm like, dang, but like, how are you really just freestyling, or are you actually?
Well, back then, when you listening to the radio and one song play, the next song play, and they all sound like they're on the same levels. What's crazy is that it never changed. The level rules never changed. Nobody follows them anymore. Like it's like it's crazy because it's a standard level that you're supposed to listen to your vocals on. Frequencies your vocals supposed to be on, your bass supposed to be on, all this shit is supposed to be on. And it's no right or wrong way to mix now. But if you were to ask someone who were training back in the day with Ray Charles or Michael Jackson, your vocals are supposed to be at this level. Your so-and-so is supposed to be at this level, because when you play it on the radio next to the next song that you're competing with, they all flow. And I think now I hear a song that's real bass heavy and the vocals are loud as fuck. I gotta turn my radio down, and then the next song come on and it's
I know exactly what you talk.
I know exactly what you read. That shit is hilarious.
And
then you turn on the next song, and it's like the only songs that are still following most of these leveling rules is R&B. So it's kind of hard to listen to a rap song on the radio and then the R&B song play right after it, because you either turning it up or you turning it down.
Yeah, it's
turning
like
it down. It's like the mixer.
Yeah.
It's like the sound engineer. It's like either made the volume too high or way too low.
But see, you can't DJ like that either, because unless you're a DJ that just pay attention to every song that comes, you want to put your fader on and let shit fade in and out on its own. It's like you gotta be careful what you say. It makes it harder for the DJs too. I think we should start as a industry. We need to go back to having a standard rule for levels. I mean, it was never a rule, but it's crazy that maybe they need to make it a rule, because music sounds nothing like it did level wise. It shouldn't sound like our old music, but levels wise, like, damn, I want to pay my old school Usher and play some new shit without feeling like our shit sounds like it's sloppy. Is sloppy the word I want to use?
Sloppy, choppy.
It's low quality. I say
but then you have to understand too, a year or 2 years ago, it didn't sound like that to me. I thought that that's what the fuck it was supposed to sound like. So now that I'm working with the people that I'm working with and I understand what it's supposed to sound like, it's like, damn, my music sounded like that too. But I did it like that because somebody else that was making it at the time sounded like that. And I felt like, okay, I don't have to put that much effort. Since I don't have to put that much effort into paying somebody to master my shit, that's what it is. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Music is not being mastered anymore.
Yeah, I kind of sort of learned like a
That's
little bit of
beautiful,
something
brother.
because like, yeah, about the master aspect. Because like at my church, I actually it's somebody that is a part of like this ministry in my church. She actually like produced music for like a Grammy award winning like gospel artists. And like I kind of sort of, he kind of sort of got me on like the soundboard engineers. I kind of sort of learned about, you know, like the mixing a little bit. Of course, I didn't really get into it like that, but I was doing it for like a few months about like how to learn or how to like work the soundboard and stuff. So yeah, I feel you. It's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
like
a
getting
lot,
it
man.
just right. That soundboard, yeah, like shoot, maybe one day I'll get back to learning how to like mix it and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, I feel you. Yeah, to really get that like mastering it like just right, to get that sound
You can
right,
tell
make sure
when
the
something
vocals are
is
right.
mastered.
Because
you can tell when something is mixed. You can tell when something is mastered because mastered the what we're hearing on the radio and just what artists are pushing out are like mixes. Like my last project, the Siren Volume 2 was mastered. My project, the Siren, the first version of that one, it wasn't mastered. I took a whole album down, PTSD, because it wasn't mastered, and I put it out for free on Bandcamp. My project that I'm working on right now is mastered. So it's like whenever it comes down in the next few months, when y'all see me promoting shit, when I'm doing shows, or if I go on a radio interview and they say, hey, what song do you want us to play? It's going to be one of my mastered songs, because I know that my frequencies is not going to hurt your ears. I know you're not going to turn me down. If anything, you're going to turn me the fuck up.
That's smart.
Yeah, right. So like
Evan.
basically like all the music you're releasing like on mainstream platforms, like all mass, like Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that would be like mastered.
But that's their fault for approving it though. That's these platform faults for letting I don't blame them for letting artists pay to put their own music on there, but we're not passing sound scans.
Right.
I don't even think people know what a sound. I don't even think people know what a sound scan is anymore.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that, and I've
never
worked
heard of
media.
that. I've
worked media too. Like I used to do media. Used to do media production. I never heard of a sound. I never heard of that.
Yeah,
never heard of that.
Sound scan.
I never heard of a sound.
When you go play a song and you get all the level numbers and everything.
That's what that's called.
I know they do that.
I never knew that was what it's called. I know what you're talking about.
I never knew that was called.
I never knew the name.
That's what it's called, a sound scan. It gives you the tempo. It gives you the tempo. It gives you the key of the song. It also tells you the undertone key. Like, you know how some songs play in two different keys. It tells you the two keys. It tells you the tempo. It also breaks the tempo. Like if you're at if you're at 160, it'll give you the higher, the lower, the faster tempo is 80, 160, and then it'll tell you so on. And then it also tells you the mood of the song, whether it's vocal, whether it's live, whether it's ambient, whether it's studio. That is a
like
sound
EQ,
scan.
kind of sort of.
Right.
Yeah,
That is a sound
that's
scan.
how I knew exactly what she was talking about, but I never knew
the
what
EQ,
the name of that was.
I never knew it was called that.
But most artists don't even run their stuff through sound scans, and little do people know. I thought what I was taught by people that had radio stations and people that's worked throughout the years that I've met, radio stations have a dB where they cut off, where it's like, okay, this sounds too harsh. I don't even think
I
they
thought
do
radio's always. I learned something new because I thought radio's always put the master version. Well, the radio version I cut to make it clean, but I thought it was always like the master version to make it clean. But I never knew that.
I don't care what nobody says. Some of these songs,
I learned that.
God forgive me, and I'm not gonna say nothing wrong about him. I have nothing against him. But when Tatiana made it to the radio, I said there is no way that we are listening to mastered music.
Oh, Blueface.
I don't care. I do not care.
Blueface. One of a kind.
No. Let's go back. The first song that got on the radio that did not have a good mix and master on it was Hot Boy. Oh,
Bobby Shmurda.
Bobby?
Yeah, but that was a hit though. That's crazy.
It was a hit, but the mix. But they fixed the mix later on down the line. When it first came out, the mix was not what's up. I think they redid the mix, or they must have
excused it. Actually, I'm thinking back on it.
Yeah, understand that.
The original version doesn't sound like the remaster.
It doesn't
sound like what it sounds
now. It don't.
He dropped that straight from him for himself, really. because like
Literally.
he blew up before he was even signed to a label. So yeah,
Y'all,
he
literally.
blew
see
up.
if I'm
He just blew
tripping.
up.
I think I might be tripping, but I think that Bobby Shmurda song was remastered because the first time I heard that song, it did not sound like
It didn't sound like that.
right
Yeah,
now.
I agree with
I
you.
was
It sounded
like-
It sounded
different.
really raw, and that's what made it so good because it was so raw. And,
I
like,
mean, you got to
that's
think
been
about
kinda
it.
all
Bobby
music
Shmurda came
industry.
out in a time where literally all the music was raw like that. Like that was 2013.
He came out with the
Because
drill
nobody
scene,
was
too,
paying for
like-
it. But see, this is what we're
Right.
not understanding. We're in the underground. Artists are taking over, and I need to go. So I'm gonna say
Right,
this. I'm
right,
gonna
right.
go. We're in an era right
Mhm.
now where Bobby Shmurda and them are able to do that because we are in an era where independent artists have control of their music career. We are not like in a chitlin circuit no more.
Right.
Even though having the chitlin circuit may not be a bad thing because we need some live motherfucking entertainment. But we are in a decade now where artists can pay $50 and get their songs distributed out. So with the decade being
Right,
mostly in the
small
hands of an
investment.
underground artist, with us owning more of our revenue and our distribution now, it's gonna boil down to a streaming service saying, fuck the fact that y'all are paying to get this stuff on here. We want mastered music only. Only. But until then, we gonna keep getting these Tatianas and these original hot boy, whatever the fuck name song was.
Yeah, boy.
Hot nigga,
Hot
but
nigga.
yeah, the hot boy is the clean
Hot-
version.
yeah, yeah.
We got a hot boy, but we all know it's called hot nigga.
We need to go
It's
ahead and
funny
put
how we
Megan
did
Thee
that, made it
Stallion on.
clean. Like we don't be cursing on this podcast all the time.
But I
He
mean,
said
but there's
hot
nothing
boy, like,
wrong
on
with
the
it
radio.
because at the end of the day, because I started out that way too. But now that I know what quality, I think it's this. Now that I know what my voice sounds like in quality music, it makes me more aware of when somebody else sounds a little off because it's like, damn, especially if they good, it's like, bro, your music go hard, but that ain't mastered or that just ain't mixed. But like I said, I'm an artist. I'm not competing, so I support everybody. So I'm not gonna say shit. Your shit just sound horrible. I'm gonna wait till you ask me. Does it sound horrible?
I feel you. No need to. Yeah, it's like because
Nah, for
everything
real
is like
though. I
hate
don't
these
like
days,
it.
giving criticism. It's like it's on cars, it's just the way it is. Society.
Yes,
I'm
see,
not
everybody-
critiquing nobody's
Yeah.
shit because I just stated it with everybody. We already knew that Tatiana had a bad mix. We already knew that Bobby Shmurda original mix was not what it is now. But unless I'm wrong and they fixed it on the radio or something, but that did not sound like it had like this white noise to it. It was like not EQ'd or something. It was something very different about what it sounds like now. But what I will say is that I'm in no position to critique anybody else because when I get off this call, like I'm gonna have to do in like 5 seconds, I gotta call my boss and tell him that I'm ready to do my FaceTime session so I can keep learning how to mix and master.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it's all about preservation and learning. If you don't have nobody,
And I've
to
seen
teach
Apple
you,
Music do that too, for real. Like, because with this new Dolby Atmos thing, I know you have to go, but I noticed they added this new quality on Apple Music where like we hear the music sound better compared to like what we sounded before. We have like AirPods or like Beats products. They definitely changed the quality of the music to make it sound like you're actually in the studio with like the Dolby Atmos thing. Even displays like on songs and like I respect Apple
But you want
Music
to know the
actually,
crazy
like,
thing?
something like that.
That's dope, but all that is an EQ. That's dope as fuck, but
Just-
all that
yeah.
is an EQ. And the crazy
Yeah, I
thing
feel
is,
you.
we're supposed to EQ our shit like that
That's
anyway. You know what
I
they're
was about to
doing?
say,
Yeah, in a
you're supposed
You
to
know
version
what
of-
they're
yeah.
doing? They're selling you a master EQ and calling it a membership because then now your shit sound mastered. There you go.
Right.
Your shit
Yeah,
sound
Get
because
that
the artists
money
don't do
from
that
you.
themselves. And I noticed with the artist that's not on Dolby Atmos, the other songs don't need that because it already sounds mastered. Yup. So you made a good
Right.
point. Yeah, see.
But
Yup.
Yeah, because I
definitely.
mean, I can play some songs. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a custom songs that I feel like can give you that same effect without even
Oh,
playing
please,
it
I
on
love
Adobe.
music.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah. Send it to
send it
me.
to me.
I'll send it to the brother.
Y'all,
Good.
for the most part, I did deliver a promise because I gotta go for real because I gotta handle
Right.
things. I did do something
Yeah,
that I
please.
did promise while we were sitting here talking. I started the playlist of the Young Soul old school music.
Gotcha.
So if you go on my bio, click the link in my bio and you scroll down, I added a new tab called Young Soul Playlist. And those are some songs that I'm gonna get y'all. So I'm gonna keep adding because they just come to me throughout the day.
Hey, bet.
Gotcha. No problems. Like I said, appreciate you
And
for
I'm gonna
coming
definitely follow you
on.
on social media because like I just love
This-
music in general. Like, yeah, for sure.
Got
like,
you. But yeah, appreciate
I
you for
love this
coming
convo about
on.
music.
It was
This
great.
is a good one.
It was laughs. It was wonderful. Like I said, you definitely are welcome back whenever you get the time, man.
I'm about to come in here and knock the doors down
You-
tomorrow. What
oh.
the fuck y'all in here doing?
He held it down. In this
Appreciate it, but
episode.
definitely.
All right,
so
then. I
you
gotta
do
go,
what
you
you gotta
guys.
do.
You said everything.
Y'all stay blessed. Have a good night.
Of course, you too.
For real, stay blessed.
Right. Ooh, that was fun.
Yes, it
That-
was.
and I had a good feeling
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
gonna be
good.
fun.
Nah,
It's
good
like,
content. Honestly, no, good content. She definitely helped kept it flowing, kept the episode extended. The episode, I like that, man. Like, Hey, bro, shout out to you, Sanford. You definitely know the good guest, bro. Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah,
That was a good
man.
Yeah,
discussion.
that's the man
Yeah,
Shout out
Sanford
to you
Stanford.
for
always
booking
killing
it.
it with the guests.
Yeah,
Ah,
Stanford.
man,
I appreciate you,
they call
brother.
me a mastermind for a reason, man. But no, like, yeah,
You
I knew it
doing
was gonna be
stuff I didn't
dope
even know you doing in the scene. Yeah.
because like I've talked to her before, like we've had like in genuine conversation. I've been on her live, like I've been fucking for a minute. So I was like, yo, she about to come in here, she about to fuck with us heavy. It's about to be some dope shit. So I was like,
And she
appreciate her for
dropped some
hopping
gems,
on.
yeah, and she was
She
really into
dropping
it.
and I knew she would drop some good information because she's an artist. Like she's legit an artist. Like it's not no
Yeah, and she could
bullshit.
like I learned
So I
some
was like,
stuff.
all right, bet
Hmm.
when she come on,
Yeah.
she gonna spread some knowledge and drop a hammer down. So that was great.
Stuff we didn't know about music. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah. She
I
told me something
learned
about
some
the
stuff,
album. So I was
bro.
like, okay, yup.
I
See, I
learned
like
Yeah,
some
hearing
let
stuff,
me
this. See, I
bro.
was
crack
like,
your cranium and fertilize your brain.
Done with you. But y'all got anything before we close out for tonight, man? This was a great one.
Arsenal
nah, man, it's
stinks.
just a long
It's so
episode. It's a good
stinks.
one.
I'm gonna remember all of y'all when I'm famous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shout out to you,
Oh,
bro.
Yeah,
bro, shout
shout
out
out
to
to
you,
You
you,
Evan.
do
bro.
this
Though we got
every
shout out to
That
the
time.
boy Evan.
Evan,
You
got
do
Evan got
this
shouted out,
every
Every
bro.
Nationals
time.
game. I see why you like going to the Nationals games, man. You know what? Yeah, because you're gonna make the page. You definitely Nationals. Hey, tell the Nationals cut you a check, bro. Because you definitely bring the energy to
At
Nats
this
ballpark,
point,
and they won every time you
Listen,
go viral. The
cut a
Nationals
check
always
and
win. I noticed
let
that with
them
you.
bring the
Every
Cleveland
time
outlet to
you
the
go
game,
viral,
man.
you bring that energy. The
Let them
Nationals
bring the
win.
gang to the game. Let them bring the
Hey,
pot to the game. We'll be lit. We'll make that joint
of
because
pop.
course,
like
of
I
course.
noticed when
I'm
we
gonna
went
let y'all
viral
know
and I
when
saw
I
the
go back.
Nationals won, I was like,
Say
it's just
less.
right. Hmm.
But it's
Like,
been, like I said, a great episode like usual. Had a wonderful guest, had a wonderful conversation. Shout out to Know the Gang. Shout out to family. Shout out to friends. Shout out to you beautiful motherfuckers that keep with posting and listening to us. Thank you. I told everybody, I said, listen, season 2 is gonna be bigger, gonna be better, greater guest. This is just the start. We got more to
oh, we have a
come.
surprise.
We got some
This
more. We
coming,
got
yeah.
some more to
Hmm.
come, man. So y'all stay safe. Y'all stay beautiful. And we are out for the